Welcome everyone to our third digital summit. It seems like we were just gearing up with this idea just last week, but it was a couple months ago. So if you have been on a summit before, please let us know in the live chat. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up. I'm going to read through this disclaimer just as a precaution because today's summit is a little bit more intermediate, although we do have options for beginners and advanced. So if you need to modify something or progress something, please do so. But this is a very technical summit. And if you ever need to stop and take notes and take it as a learning experience, please do. Listen to your body. If you experience faintness, dizziness, pain, or shortness of breath at any time while exercising, you should stop immediately. So hopefully you have gotten cleared to exercise if you have an injury or anything like that by a doctor before starting this. This is especially true. I need to make sure that you are good to go. If you have a history of high blood pressure or heart disease, if you've ever experienced chest pain while exercising, or in the past month when not engaged in physical activity. If you smoke, have high cholesterol, are obese, or have a bone or joint problem that could be made worse by a change in physical activity. Make sure that you are okay to do this. If at any point you feel like your body is telling you, maybe not today, please stop or modify. Type in the chat because all of our instructors will be in the live chat during their segments to answer your questions. So please take advantage of them. They're here for you, and this is it's not a small group, but it's a smaller, more intimate group for this summit. So they'll be able to answer specific questions for you. I am 100% live. Actually, I'm gonna bring it to my face now. So, hi, I'm here. I am 100% live here, so I can see you guys in the live chat. We've got people from Phoenix, Iowa, British Columbia, Canada, New York, Columbia, Denver. Oh, Kyle's in here. Hey, Kyle. Another Iowa, Arlington, Virginia, Southern California, Argentina. We got some Texas. We've got international. We've got all across the U.S., and I love it. So, point being, I just wanted to say I'm 100% live, though the instructors' segments are pre-recorded. They will be in the live chat typing. So they're here in real time, but you're watching their video that's pre-recorded so that they can give you the attention that you need for this summit. So just a few housekeeping things. It looks like you all can hear me. So I recommend using your computer. If you are using your phone right now, it might be a little small to follow along with. If you're on your phone, then you can AirPlay it or broadcast it to a TV or computer or something, a bigger device, because you're going to want to be able to hear, one, and you're going to want to be able to see tiny details. Yeah? So if there are any glitches at any time, or for some reason live chat stops, or the stream for some reason shuts down, we will end up joining on Zoom, and I'm going to put the Zoom link in here for you, just in case of technical difficulties. We will join here. But what I want you to do, if for some reason the live stream stops, or you can't hear, or you can't type, refresh. Go out and start again, because sometimes it just took that. Even on our end, we would have to refresh our stream, and it came back. So please let me know after you've refreshed and try it again. Yeah? Cool. So Zara is having the zoomies right now, my cat, so just ignore her if she flies through the screen. And then, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. We will get started with our warm-up in just a second. Looks like you all can hear. I might lock Zara in the back because I don't want her to jump across the screen. So I will be right back, and then we'll get started with the warm-up. And I'm back. Cool. All right. Also, a couple more things about the specific segments. So for Angela's pull-up section, you're going to need a mini band. All right. If you don't already have these, you can do it with just your arms and tension for things that she is going to be cueing you through. But if you have one, go grab it now. If you want one of these, we are actually taking pre-orders for our kit, and it's going to have some new things in it versus the version 1 kit. So that's in production right now. You can go to trainlikeagymnast.com/workout-kit. It's on our website as well. And then for any other segment where you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not this advanced, they're doing things, I don't look like that, do what you can. Do what you can, take it as a learning experience, know what your goal is, especially in Sienna's. Like, I look like a flopping whale doing some of the things that she was doing, but you can still feel it and you're still working the same muscles. So let's get started. I think, let me just make sure this framing is right. Definitely not, can't see my head. So we're gonna start standing and then I will tilt it down when we go to the floor, all right? So make sure you have space. You don't need to have a panel mat, but this is Tumble Track. They are a sponsor of ours, so if you signed up as a VIP, you can look in your virtual swag bag and maybe get a panel mat for yourself. I've loved this. Also, shout out to Vuori, our clothing sponsor. Thank you so much for always working with us and for swagging out all of our instructors. Last one, Vivo Barefoot. You will hear us talking about these a lot. They are kind of our official Train Like a Gymnast shoe because when you train like a gymnast, you're barefoot, yeah? But when you go outside, you gotta put shoes on, just for safety. These ones are wide, I don't know if I can show you, are wide at the top, so like it makes you feel like you're actually barefoot. And when you step, your feet and your toes are allowed to spread out versus making you wobbly or feeling like you're compressed. So, I don't think I will take them off, but I might. Let's get started here. Make sure you have space around you. I want to make sure I can see the live chat as well. We're good to go. All right. So side kicks. Follow along as best you can. You might not know this warm-up, but we're just going to do it anyway. We'll do 2 on each side. Here we go. Side kicks. 1, 2, other way. 1, please do not kick anything off of shelves. Again, 1, 2, kick to the side, 1, and 2. Hand on hip, reach over to the side. 1, 2, same count. 1, 2, forward. 1, 2, keep the leg straight, lean back. 1, 2, reach through. 1, 2, and then swing your arms forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back to the top, reach to the side. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, back. 1, 2, reach through. 1, 2, swing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to twitch from side to side. Here, reach this arm back behind you. Opposite hand is on opposite toe. Look to the ceiling. We're going to do 5 to 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we do 6. Cool. From here, go ahead and squat it down. Feet together, ankles together. Hands on the floor. From here, side view. I'm pushing my ankles over my toes. And if you are barefoot, you might be able to get into that forced arch. I want you to really push. And as you're doing that, don't let your ankles come apart. Ankles and heels touching, knees touching the whole time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward fold, legs straight. 1, 2, baby pulses. 4, 5, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to skip some of the other stuff because you will be warm and each instructor will do specific warm-ups and drills in the beginning. So go ahead and lie on your side, on your elbow. Bottom leg is bent, top leg is bent. Arm is in front, leg is behind you. From here, you're going to swing. Arm is going to go back, leg goes forward, toes pointed, straight, okay? 5 of these. 2, 3, coordination can be hard sometimes. 4, and then on the 5th one, around the world. And 5. Look, you're on the other side now. I don't expect you to do that unless you have done it before. On your elbow, same thing. 1, 2, open up that hip flexor and hamstring. 3, point the toe. 4, and 5. Good. Hands and knees. Kicks behind you. Leg is straight. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then bend that leg, head release. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other side. 1, 2, 3, leg straight. 4, 5, leg bent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. While we're on our knees, hands in front, Kyle's going to take you through a nice wrist stretch as well. Just going to touch on it here. Flip the hands, fingers facing the knees. Just open that up. And then flip the arms or the hands, top of the palms on the floor, back and forth gently. And then the last one, fingers out, wrists together, circle both directions. Put some weight onto it. You're in control of how much weight you want to put on. Yeah? You can either roll your ankle like this, or if that's too challenging, cross one leg over and roll your ankle this way. But I want you to really make sure you get the whole ankle, every angle of the ankle's mobility and the range of motion, because you don't want to be, well, we're not really jumping too much, but you don't want to accidentally step on it or come down on it in a weird way where it's not ready for that. Other side, roll it both directions, just get those cracks and pops out. And then let's go into a down dog. Get our hamstrings ready. So just start to pedal here. I want you to focus on getting the legs straight and the back flat. Yeah? That's going to naturally lengthen the hamstring, and you're going to feel it more than if you're here. Okay? So look at the hands, push the armpits down to the floor, pedal out here. Okay? Then go up into your plank, and then bring one leg forward into a lunge. Rock back and forth in a high lunge so that back knee is straight and it's off the ground. Then let's drop it down, bring the chest up. From here, you can turn out the front foot slightly for your balance. Interlace your hands or your fingers on the knee. Push the chest back. Okay, from here, you're trying to create separation between the hip and the thigh. So you're keeping the hips down, putting a lot of the stress and the stretch into that back hip to open the hip flexor, because a lot of us sit throughout our day, especially now during quarantine. Sitting, working from home, driving, all that kind of stuff. Straighten that leg, flex the foot, back is flat. Think of lengthening that chest. Reach the chest forward, not just down. Okay? Same concept, leg is straight, back is flat. It causes the hamstring to lengthen and you feel the stretch even more. From here, go back into your lunge, and you can grab your back leg, or you can do this lying down on your stomach and pull your heel to your butt. Not going to hold this for too long, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take it to splits. If you can. If you can't, and like this is your split, totally fine. Focus on getting the front leg straight and front toe pointed. You got your split, pop down into it. Let's see if we can hold our arms up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Other leg. If you guys have any questions at any time, pop in that chat box, because our instructors will be here. I will be here. I'll be doing this whole workout with you all day. So trust me, I'm over here struggling too. You will see me active in the chat. So we're all a family, we're all a community here. Thank you so much for joining. I'm excited to introduce you to some of these instructors if you're not familiar with them. Yes, so if one of you, or if you came through Kyle, you'll be introduced to everybody else. If you came through Sienna, you'll be introduced to everybody else. All of that. We really want to create a platform for people to be introduced to those different types of training. Because maybe you work with one coach, right? Maybe you've worked with one coach before, and there's something that you just can't get. Like they're not explaining it in the way that you need to be explained that particular skill. And then you get another coach come in, or a clinician, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that was so easy. If they just said it like that, it would have been so much better. So that is our goal here, is to introduce you to different types of training and different cues. All right, keep that front leg straight, toes pointed, chest is up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straddle. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of active straddle here, so legs are straight. If you see light under the knees, that means your knees are bent, okay? If you're wearing shoes, it's going to be a little harder to push down. Otherwise, flex your feet. Heels come off the ground if you can. That'll help you keep your legs straight. So from here, you're going to hinge forward. Back is flat. Try to get down as low as you can, and then come back up 5 times. Here we go. Lean forward and up. 1. If it's too hard, try to play around with if you need to make your legs closer together or farther apart, okay? And hinge forward. 2, on the way back up, lead with the wrists, not the back. Lead with the wrists. 3, 2 more. 4, and 5. Grab one side of your body, reach over to the other side, and see if you can grab that foot, right? But don't let the arm come in front of the face. Keep it behind the ear. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up, other side, grab the hip, reach over, and then keep that arm behind the ear for 5, 4, legs straight, 3, 2, 1. Walk it to the middle as far as you can for pancake. Remember, we're not just rounding. We're trying to think belly button to the floor first, and then walking our hands out. Legs are straight, toes or pinky toes are reaching back behind you. Ideal world, pinky toe is like touching the floor. I've never been able to do that, but that's always my goal every time I'm thinking about this, yeah? Okay. From here, butterfly. We got a couple more minutes before we get started. You're going to see in between each 30-minute segment, you will see a 5-minute commercial break. It'll be some of our Train Like a Gymnast promo videos. So at that point, that's your time to run to the bathroom, fill up your water bottle, get a drink, take the dog out to pee, I don't know, something. Whatever you need to do during those 5 minutes, because each of those breaks in between the instructors is 5 minutes. Cross the leg over, flex the foot to protect the knee, and then from here, sit up as tall as you can, get close to that leg, and if you can, push that knee out away from you, and kind of rock side to side for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, other side. And push away, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Over on your knees. And I'm going out of order for this because I'm thinking of all of the segments that I want to prep you for. So, drop the armpits to the floor, hips are super high in your cat stretch. Try to get the armpits to the floor, chin on the floor. I want you to think about this as actively as possible because you're going to get prepped for Sienna's later in the day. You will be warm by then, but focus on the shoulders and the back. Shoulders especially for Kyle's segment and handstands and pull-ups. So if you need extra, go on your fingertips, push down, look in front of you, get that chin to the ground. Then from here, thread your right arm under and through, put that right shoulder on the floor, and then reach this top arm back. Give a couple of bounces for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your back might crack, and it should feel glorious. Back to the middle, tiny bounces, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thread that left arm through, left shoulder on the ground, reach it up and over for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Flip it over on your back. We'll finish with a bridge. So, 3 different versions. You can do glute bridge if your back is like, nope, not today. The next one is elbow bridge. You can be grabbing behind your elbows, put these behind, or put the arms behind the head, and you'll push up into an elbow bridge. Or you can put your hands by your ears. The elbow bridge will be a little bit of a deeper stretch in your upper back. Regular bridge, feet are shoulder width apart, fingertips are facing the shoulders, and you'll bridge up, look in between your hands, and then rock back and forth. So we'll stay here for 10. Get up into whichever variation you're doing. 9, 8, lift high, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come down. 3 rock and rolls. 1. On the third one, you're going to stand up. 2, and 3. Beautiful. All right, you should be kind of warm. And then each instructor, like I said, will take you through their own little extra warm-up that is specifically for their circuit. So with that, let's get started. Does anybody have any last questions? I'm just going to check. Oh, also make sure you guys are like taking selfies, what's it called, time-lapsing, or doing some kind of thing for us on Instagram and tag us, because I can't see you. It's not like Zoom where we can like check in on how you all are doing. So let us know how you're liking it. Let us know which segments are your favorite. Show us how you're doing. We love watching. And we also create a little video to show the people for the next summit how it goes. So let's get going here. I'll get the commercial break ready to go. You're not going to see me until like 1:15 Pacific time. So I'm still here, I'm in the chat, but it's just going to be boom, 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 each instructor, each segment. All right? I will talk to you soon. Have fun, have an amazing time. I look forward to seeing how you do.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no words, no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, no words, no more, no, no. Yeah.
consistency. You want to be able to do the splits? Put in the time. You want to learn handstands? Learn the technique. You want to tumble? Commit to getting stronger. You don't become an athlete overnight. It takes practice, mental strength, physical dedication, and passion. You also don't have to be a kid to do gymnastics. These self-limiting beliefs only hold you back from reaching your true potential. Learn how to master mind, body, and spirit. We never start at the finish line. We practice over and over and over. But through all of this, never lose sight of your why. Gymnastics isn't easy. Remember why you started. Become a champion, train like a gymnast.
Hey, what's good, my friends? My name's Weiger. I'm an international handstand coach and super thrilled to be here at the Train Like a Gymnast Digital Summit. Shout out to Danielle for that warm-up. So let's get right into it. I want to start with wrists and shoulders, and then we're going to get into some handstand entry variations, including scissor, tuck, and straddle. And then for those of you who have a freestanding practice, we're going to have some more advanced variations at the end. So first things first, in a handstand, wrist health is super important. So I like to stretch the radial side and then the ulnar side of my wrist, radial being thumb side. So here, let's go like this. We put our thumb into the middle of the hand like so. Fold all fingers over it, turn it, and then try to aim it manually down. If you want to, you can get the other hand sort of invited to the party and start to force the issue a little bit, and you'll feel this right at the wrist region and right where the wrist meets the forearm. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. Left hand, palm up, thumb to the middle, 4 fingers in, and then same on this side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now to get the outside of the arm, very simply, we're going to come into internal rotation, one of the very few times in handstanding I would ask you to do this. So we're going to put our hand facing inward like so, put your other hand on top of it, keep it steady, and then you're going to sort of energetically externally rotate. You won't see a ton of movement, but you will feel this right here on the ulnar side of the forearm, the outside of the wrist, or the pinky side of the hand. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Same. Left hand, internally rotate, plant, spin the elbow, and then see if you can, again, energetically. You won't move a ton, but you will have quite a bit of sensation in the lower part of the forearm where it meets the 8 bones that make up your wrist. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 2 final stretches that are essential for the wrist in handstand. Inside out dorsiflexion. So dorsiflexion is this kind of flexion of the wrist. We're going to turn our hands inside out so that the inside of the wrist and the eye of the elbow faces forward, and then start to lean back as much as you can. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The opposite of dorsiflexion is palmar flexion, every handstander's favorite stretch, right? So you're going to put your hands palms face up, fingers face you, and your thumbs face each other, and then you can kind of be your own gauge here on how much pressure you want to put into the hand. Eventually, you would go arms straight, turn the eyes of the elbow forward. If you want to make this more challenging, you would scoot your knees back to make your lever longer and distribute more weight into the hands. If you want to make it even more challenging, you would step all the way back for wrist planks. Hold your specific variation here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's get into the shoulders. So open shoulder versus closed shoulder. We want open shoulders in a handstand so that we can get that nice straight line. We'll do a little bit of a passive opening here. Come into child's pose, spread your knees, let your torso fall into the space in between your femurs, and then tent up onto your fingers and see if you can just let the chest fall. If this is not enough for you, you can come all the way to tabletop with the knees and crawl the hands forward pretty far, and then create a little bit more vertical distance for which you can fall into. Hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Crawl forward into tabletop, please. A little bit of active shoulder opening. So I'll start on my left-hand side here. I'm going to take my arm forward as far as it can go, and then it'll start going up. One thing you want to watch for is the ribs flying open. Make sure that you are moving just from the shoulder. We have 5 rotations in each direction. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. Switch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Change sides, please. I just did my left, so I'm going to do my right. We'll go up and forward with the arm until I can go further. No forward. It is forced to go behind me for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pause. 1, 2. Slow and controlled. 3, 4, 5. Excellent. So let's talk about hand placement. Fingers line up to wrist. Radioscaphoidal joint is right there where the radius meets the scaphoid, and then that lines up to the inside of your humeral head. Just think inside of wrist lined up to inside of shoulder. You don't want to go too wide, and you definitely don't want to go too narrow. In a handstand, you want your bones stacking so that you have to use less muscle and you use more mechanical efficiency. So when I put my hands down, they land right there. All right, that said, let's get into the scissor entry into handstand. So this one comes in quite a few layers. I know we have all different levels of practitioner on the Digital Summit today, so I want to give you baby steps all the way up to the full thing. So I'm actually going to move this yoga mat because I enjoy handstanding on harder surfaces. It just seems to give a little bit more push. I'll toss that over there. Okay, so the important things with scissor entry into handstand. Number 1, hand placement like I just talked about. They go directly underneath my shoulders. And the leg that is kicking, the one that we'll call it the top leg, right? That leg is straight the whole way on the entry and the exit. Now, if you're new to handstanding and you're like, yo man, I can't get all the way up into handstand, that's why I'm watching this video, well, there's options, right? So let's say you can master 10% of the movement, or then 50 and eventually 100% being the full handstand. 10 or 20% of the movement might look like this. So I'm not going all the way up. I'm just working on mastering the little things, right? Like just get the basics dialed in, and then over time, you can get a little bit more height, come down, and then even more time, handstand. Ooh, wobbly today, Kyle. There we are. And then come on down. So I want you to pick whichever layer or percentage or however you want to think about this. 10%, maybe you get to 50 with one leg all the way up and the other one at an L position, or you get to a full 100%, you hit your handstand for a couple seconds, come down, and then repeat the repetition until you have it in your body. So I'm going to do a set of 5. You guys follow along at home at whatever layer of this practice you're at. There's not one that's better or worse than another. They are just simply different. 1, 2. Just working for smooth, quality movements. That's 3, 4, and 5. 2 straight legs, always. I'm doing my best to point my toes. I got on my Vivo barefoots today, so it's kind of like wearing nothing at all. If I'm going to handstand in shoes, these are definitely the ones I prefer. So I'll take a quick breather. I'll set my timer here for about a 30-second rest, and then we will go into some tuck variations. It's going to follow the same approach, the same methodology in that we're keeping it low, or if you can hover a little bit in your tuck, that's like, let's say 50% where the knees are in and the heels are being pulled towards the butt, or if you can untuck the legs and go up into handstand. I know we have a few gymnasts on here who already probably have a pretty good handstand practice. I know gymnasts and hand balancers tend to approach it just slightly differently, and there's just some slightly distinct variations. That's 30 seconds. Okay, let's talk about tuck. The idea with tuck is that you would compress into a little ball in a handstand shape, of course, as little as you can, and then uncurl the legs to go straight vertical. What I see too often in tuck students is the following, the premature untuck. It looks a little bit like this, and their legs go behind them. Your legs are extremely heavy, heaviest part of your body. So if they go past your center of mass in one direction, it will bring you down back into a forward fold. If they go past your center of mass in the other direction, you will likely either cartwheel out or fall into the bridge. The idea is that they go straight and vertical the whole time. So what does 10 or 20% of a tuck handstand look like for my beginner friends out there? Well, it might be this, hands down, tuck. And I just try to get the basic movements. My hips don't quite get fully stacked, just there, pulling heels to butt. And here's the other thing with all of the entries, land softly. I always tell students of all skill level, I don't care how high you can kick up, I care how softly you can land. If you can put your feet down on purpose and with purpose, that is a much better indicator of how much control you have. So let's take a look at what 50% or the tuck position might look like. I'm gonna get stacked and we'll balance on my hands with my hips over my shoulders, hands down, up. There, just hang out in your tuck. The full position might be there. Toes straight up, trying to get as tall as I can, and then I pull my knees to my chest, straighten my legs on the way down, and there we have tuck handstand. So, once again, we are gonna do a set of 5 of wherever you are at in your handstand practice. Again, not one is better than the other. These are just different sort of layers depending on where you're at in your journey. Here we go, hands down. Set of 5, let's go. 1. Stand up. 2. I'm going to go full handstand here. 3. 4. And finally, for a good measure, 5. Nice, slow, controlled, easy. You hit the landing, the landing zone or home base or whatever you want to call it, and then come right down. Once again, a little breather. So I like to do these repetitions as a way of sort of installing the movement pattern into my body from the neurophysiological level to myelinating the circuit, right? I want to lay down layers and layers of myelin over that bundle of nerve fibers responsible for all the motor coordination for tuck handstand. All right, we got a little bit of a rest. I don't know about you guys, but my heart rate is definitely up. The more I go up and down, I find my heart rate spikes versus if I were just to do like a 2-minute, freestanding hold. So next up is straddle, and no surprise here, we are gonna take this in layers. Baby steps, mama bear, papa bear, you get to be Goldilocks in this unfortunate metaphor. So what does it look like if I straddle the 20% and come right back down where I landed? Well, your feet are going to start together. The idea is that they go out 2 straight legs, 2 pointed feet, and they come right back down. If you get out and the legs start shaking, that's an indicator of you may have met your edge. So there's 10, 20%. 50% would be straddle position and hold, and then the full one would be the sort of jackknife butterfly effect thing that you would take all the way up into your freestanding handstand. So let's demo these and then we'll get ready on our set of 5. I'm going to start with my feet together. They are going to go out like so and come right back down. 1. Okay, so fairly straightforward. The idea is the control of the legs like any other entry in a handstand. We are controlling this as much as we can. 50% for demo purposes might look like this. Full 100% might look like this. And then I would straddle down. The goal is to land feet together, again, meaning that you have full control the entire time through the movement on the way up and on the way down. I always tell my students, if you focus on the exit as much as you focus on the entry, you get to practice your handstand twice with each rep, meaning you'll get better twice as fast, theoretically, assuming you're doing it with some intention and purpose, right? Okay, so here goes. We're going to do our set of 5. Again, you all at home, 10, 20%, 50%, full handstand, whatever it is that you want to throw into the mix for wherever your practice is at today. Make sure I don't kick anything behind me here. And here we go. Hands down. 1. Stand up, take your hands off the ground. And again we go. 2. 3. 4. Controlling the movement. And finally, 5. Keep it. There we go. And coming down. Whew, okay. Start our little timer. We'll take a full 1 minute rest. Let's come into palmar flexion again. I know in a lot of practices, you stretch out your wrists and shoulders in the beginning and then you go through your entire practice. I highly recommend stretching wrists and shoulders throughout your practice because they will get fatigued once you start to own your handstand, you're able to stay upside down for longer, and that means that your wrists and shoulders have to bear more load. Here's what I want you to do. Put elbows, forearms, wrists, and hands together. Interlace all 10 fingers to the webbing, please and thank you, and start to roll them out. Now, the direction you went with the hands and the position of the grip that you went without me asking you to is known as your dominant side. So here's what I want you to do. Fan out the hands, switch the grip, and then switch the direction of the wrist roll. This one might take a little more brain power. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, for added bonus, we got one more round of where we're going to switch up sort of the requirements of what we're asking of our brain and our nervous system, and we're going to switch entries. Scissor, tuck, straddle, and then we're going to do that 3 times, okay? So why is this useful? Well, you want to be able to hit your handstand from any entry, right? That's why I actually preach endurance training a lot, is if you get used to your line, then you're going to know where to land regardless of if you're doing it from scissor, from tuck, or from straddle. So we're going to do 3 sets of 3, scissor, tuck, straddle, take a quick break, and then scissor, tuck, straddle, take a quick break. So here we go. Think about where you're going. Think about where you're placing your hands. You are going to go hands down, 10, 50, or 100% of your handstand. Let's go. Scissor. And then scissor down. Stand up. I'm going to step my feet together. Get ready for tuck. Tuck, handstand. Ooh, shaky there. Come on down. And then straddle. Straddle out and down. One set already in the books. Take a quick break. Big breath in. Big breath out. Okay. We are cruising along here for time. These 2 more sets, and then we're going to talk about something really fun, which is head positions. Here we go. Scissor, tuck, straddle. Just 3 handstands. You got this. Hands down. Up for 1. Down. Stand all the way up. Step your feet together. Tuck for 2. Tuck down, please. And then hands down. Straddle. And straddle down. So if you're at, let's say, the 10 or 20 or the 50% of this particular drill or any of the previous drills, you can still get a ton of value out of doing small movements deliberately. I don't know who's responsible for the phrase, but it goes something to the effect of anyone who can do an advanced skill is brilliant at the basics, right? So even that 10%, just lifting and coming right back down, that skill in and of itself is going to lead to very clean technique later on in your practice versus what I call like the kick and pray method, where you just thrust your body up into the air and hope to magically catch balance. So you have to do that. I've never seen anyone accidentally get a handstand in all my years of coaching. So don't do your handstands on accident. Do them with purpose. Final set. Here we go. Hands down. Scissor, tuck, straddle. There's scissor for 1. Stand up. Put your feet together. Hands down. Tuck for 2. Knees to chest. Legs down. Straddle position for 3. Straddle out and down. I'll hit my timer. Quick breather for us. Okay. So we got about 10 minutes left. Please stretch your wrists. I'm going to go inside out dorsiflexion. So for those of you who are on this digital summit and you have a freestanding handstand and you're like, okay, well, what's next? Well, there's a couple things. There's the line, there's head positions, and then after that, the rabbit hole gets pretty deep in that you can do one arms, changing shapes, scissor to straddle to tuck to diamond. But for today, with our remaining time, I want to talk to you guys about your line because it is one of the most important fundamental elements of getting let's say, call it a larger handstand practice. I like to hold my line for endurance just to see where I'm at. Anything past the 2-minute mark for me is good. When I was first starting, it was like 15 seconds was the mark. But just know your shoulders and wrists get stronger over time. Man, I am sweating. I'm rocking my new Vuori gear, and thankfully it's super good about absorbing the sweat. I'm very hot in my apartment right now. Okay, so we're going to kick up into a handstand, and I want you guys to go ahead and watch the first one. I'm going to demonstrate line corrections and how they affect your overall mechanics. So if I get up into a handstand, and let's say I have closed shoulders and my body is not engaged, it might look a little like this. Right? Technically I'm balancing, but it's really not very mechanically efficient. So what I want to do, get taller through my toes, press through my traps, and then pull my chest through my arms to hopefully straighten out the line. Squeeze your butt, flex your belly. So that is the most common correction. I see people with a kink in the shoulder. What happens then is that something else has to correct in order to maintain balance, and it's usually, survey says, the thoracolumbar junction, where the thorax meets the lumbar spine. It kinks and sends your hips over, and you actually make more of an inverted Z shape than a straight line. So I want to take the next, say, 30 seconds or so for those of you that have a freestanding practice, and I want you to work on correcting your line from the wrist up, meaning everything stems from here. It's a constant push up so that your body gets taller. One of my absolute favorite cues in handstanding, get taller. You can get taller from the push of the wrist, you can get taller in the trapezius, and you can get taller from your toes. So here goes, my friends. We're going to say 30 seconds. We are up. If you need a wall for this, go for it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hands down. Find your handstand, and then get taller. Remember, press through your traps, aim your toes towards the sky, flex your quads to lock out the knees, and hug your belly in, squeeze your butt a little bit. We're at 15 seconds. Easy breezy. We are at 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to come on down. All right. Wonderful. Set the timer, take a little break. Okay, endurance training matters. It is what I open all of my personal practices with. After I'm good and loose, my first handstand of the day is always like my longest one because I just want my body to find, again, that home base, that sort of landing zone of where I'm nice and stacked. I know today we got 30 minutes, but if you want to take your handstand practice, I guess, a little more to the next level, you can definitely check my stuff out over at KyleWeiger.com. Click on courses. I have beginner courses all the way up to some more advanced stuff. Speaking of which, let's end today with a little chat about head positions. So, in handstanding, most people look at the ground. That's a good place to start because when you first don't completely own your balance, you need a visual anchor of something solid to look at. Once you have the balance intelligence, or the long term is called equilibrioception, your sense of balance, you actually don't need to look at the ground, and then you can swap from your first head position into second head position. Again, first is looking at the hands, second is neutral, ear to bicep. What's beautiful about second position is that once you're there, it creates a whole bunch more space in your traps, and you can actually get taller from your second position. And then third position would be chin tucked to chest to the point where you're looking up at your own feet. Hopefully, I'm going to demo real quick for those of you that have the freestanding. You can follow along here. If you don't have your freestanding handstand, you can absolutely practice this at a wall. It is just good to install, once again, into the shoulders where your balance is. So I'm going to put my hands down, handstand, find my line, push, so I'm in first position, and then I will slowly shift my gaze up and under to second, and then I will look at the ceiling for third. Now here I'm truly balancing, right, as a handstand. I don't need my eyes per se, I can just look up there. This gets more complex by orders of magnitude the faster you move your head. So your head weighs like, 8 to 12 pounds? So depending on the size of your brain, I suppose. But if you are swinging that like a pendulum quickly, then that becomes problematic because then your hips are going to have to correct. So what I'll encourage you to do is move slowly, my friends. I think we got about 2 or 3 minutes left, so let's practice this. If you're new to this, I want you to get to the wall and work on moving from first to second, pause, and then in that pause, I want you to push up in second position, and then move from second to third. Keep pushing. For those of you doing this freestanding, move very, very slowly, my friends. This is where you start to truly own your balance, where you don't need a visual anchor of any kind, and all the intelligence lives strictly in the hands and in the shoulder. All right, last one of the day. Here we go. Hands down. Find your handstand. Push, push, push. Get as tall as you can in first position. Okay? Slowly drop into second. Now, when you're in second, you're going to find some extra lift. There it is. Extra lift in your trapezius. And then third position for those of you that want it. Squeeze your butt. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Whew. All right, friends. Let's take a couple minutes to stretch out the wrists, and we'll get into the shoulders, and we will send you guys on your way to the rest of the Digital Summit, hosted by, of course, none other than my good friends over at Train Like a Gymnast. Let's flip the hands to inside out dorsiflexion. Again, if you have questions regarding your handstand, or you want to take some handstand training courses, head on over to kyleweger.com, click on the courses tab. If you're more of a mobile phone user, I definitely have a mobile app. All you have to do is type in my name into the Apple App Store, or the Google Android environment. I think it's called Google Play is where their apps exist. Turn your hands facing inward. This is another internal rotation drill. We're just going to stretch out the upper palm, also known as the metacarpal ridge. It's where all of your fingers meet. And we're just going to walk it out side to side for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sit on back, shoulder overhead, right hand, please, and then put your left hand on your right elbow and just see if you can pull your shoulder up, back, and open. Yeah, much love to squat at Train Like a Gymnast, and to all the other presenters here today, by the way. This is a pretty cool thing, and I'm super excited to have been invited to it to handstand with you guys for 30 minutes or so. I believe we have some acrobatics coming up, some yoga, all kinds of good stuff body related, so make sure you stay tuned. And again, big shout out to Vivo Barefoot and Vuori for the awesome gear to train in. It's really helpful to train when you're comfortable, right? So that's it for me, guys. Again, my name's Kyle Weiger. I don't have like a fancy Instagram handle. It's just Kyle Weiger. You can find me there on social media as well. Much love. Easy.
Consistency. You want to be able to do the splits? Put in the time. You want to learn handstands? Learn the technique. You want to tumble? Commit to getting stronger. You don't become an athlete overnight. It takes practice, mental strength, physical dedication, and passion. You also don't have to be a kid to do gymnastics. These self-limiting beliefs only hold you back from reaching your true potential. Learn how to master mind, body, and spirit. We never start at the finish line. We practice over and over and over. But through all of this, never lose sight of your why. Gymnastics isn't easy. Remember why you started. Become a champion, train like a gymnast.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, there was no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, there was no more, no, no. Yeah.
What's up, crew? My name is Angela Gargano. I'm going to be your pull-up coach today on Train Like a Gymnast. So super excited to be here today. First, want to give a shout out to this awesome outfit here. We got the Vero clothing line, which you can't really see here But this is literally, well, the back's really awesome. And this in front is actually Army, which is awesome. And also Vivo Barefoot. I love these shoes. I like to do a lot of my training barefoot. I was a gymnast. So these are great shoes because I really feel like you're wearing nothing. So absolutely love them. So shout out to them real quick. But again, my name is Angela Gargano. I'm a 3-time American Ninja Warrior, and I'm also a pull-up expert. So I have a program called the Pull-Up Revolution, and it's actually a 30-day interactive pull-up program. So actually they're coaching you to make sure you're getting your pull-up, because let's face it, pull-ups are tough, and it's really hard to figure out where to start. And I've downloaded all the guides and everything, and it's just still confusing. You're not really sure where to start. So we're gonna break it all down for you right here. You're not gonna need any equipment at all. You're not even gonna need a pull-up bar, but you are gonna need a mini band if you have it. And yeah, let's get started. So first thing I wanna get started with the pull-up is assessing your overhead range of motion. Because think about it, when you do a pull-up, you're hanging, right? So we need to make sure we have that overhead range of motion so that you guys can do the pull-up physically, okay? So we need to look at this mobility and see where you're at. How do we do that? We're gonna go for a shoulder assessment right now. Now I'm gonna do it on the floor, but you can totally do this against the wall. I actually like the wall version better, but not much room to do it right here, so we're gonna do it on the floor. Okay, so we're gonna lay on our back here. Feet are gonna be at, my shoes keep cutting on the side. Shoes are gonna be at 90 degrees. And first thing I want you to do is you want you to inhale, exhale, push that lower back to the ground, okay? Now we're gonna take our arms out to the side and we're gonna lift them all the way up till they get above our head. And here's what I want you to notice, right? For me, I'm able to get all the way back while keeping my lower back pushed to the ground, okay? But for a lot of people, they raise on up and they get stuck like right here, okay? And that just goes to show me that your overhead range definitely needs some improvement. We definitely need to work on that. Now you can do the same exact thing I did here, but you could do it against the wall. Pretend you're in a wall sit position, and same thing, you're pushing your lower back to the ground first. And that is very important. You can't just do this without pushing that lower back to the ground first, because what happens is you'll think you have more of a range, because what you'll do is, since your back is arching, you'll be able to bring them all the way back like this, right? So you need to make sure you push that lower back to the ground and raise on up and see and assess where you are at. Okay, so step number 1 with me, make sure that you assess, okay? And let me know how that is. Maybe, again, maybe your range is totally fine. Maybe you're like, yeah, range is fine. Maybe you're like, my range is a little off. And we're gonna go through a mobility series that I like to do to warm up my clients to work on their mobility range and to get them prepped before they start doing anything warm-up wise. Very important that you always warm up before you do anything. So let's get into the warm-up part. We're gonna start with some arm circles, okay? So I'm just doing this on my knees so you can see me, but take your arm and you're gonna circle all the way around. Now as you're circling forward, I want you to, again, be aware of maybe how this is feeling, right? Maybe you're feeling some cracks and pops, which cracks and pops are fine as long as they're not painful. I want you to, again, really stay up nice and tall while you're doing this. And let's circle backwards. Now, I'm going all the way around this big circle here, right? But maybe your range isn't that great, right? So maybe you have to go in smaller circles. That's okay. You're just gonna go where it feels good for you. We don't wanna go where anything is painful. So I love doing these arm circles. Other arm forward, let's circle, because it gets the joint nice and warm and nice and ready for the pull-ups. You shouldn't just hop right into a pull-up. You gotta make sure that you get a nice warm-up in before you do that. So circling forward. And now we're gonna circle it on back. Chest again is up nice and tall. Make sure you're breathing. Open and close those arms. Another thing I like to do too, if that feels really good for you, you can add a little weighted plate to your hand or a light dumbbell. That helps a little bit extra too. So that's movement number 1 that we just went through. Movement number 2 for the warm up, we're gonna go into a thoracic stretch. So this is, you're gonna see right here, you need a chair. Chair, you can use your couch. You're gonna take your elbows, place them on the top of the couch or the chair. Your head is gonna go right in between. You're gonna lean back and allow these elbows to go up here. So this is gonna work on that overhead range and the mobility. While you're here, extend those arms forward and extend them back. Do a few more here. Awesome, relax again. Oop, I got my ponytail stuck in there. And let's do it again, head down. And again, assess where you're at here. Maybe this is like, maybe you're like, that is so hard and it's killing me, and that's okay. Just assess where you're at. Now we're gonna get into my last move here, and we're gonna go through them all again one more time to make sure you have a nice warm up. You're gonna get into a child's pose, head down. Your arms are gonna be really, really wide though, okay? Really wide here, we're gonna stretch out this lat. So right arm over your left, left arm over your right. And we're gonna tap side to side here. Nice little active warm up here. Really pushing through that palm so that you're feeling it in your lats. Two more. One more. And awesome, cool. Let's do it all one more time. So let's circle it out here. Circle that arm forward. Circle it backwards. And again, I really do recommend, there's a lot more you can do for a warm up, but I'm just giving you some basic stuff you can do. Other arm over, circle it out. Circle it backwards. Back over to that chair here. Elbows on your chair, head down to the middle. Hold. Come on out. And back down to the floor. Child's pose, side to side tap. Awesome, so we're nice and warmed up now. Now, next part for your pull-up, again, we're not physically doing stuff on a pull-up bar today, but this is all gonna be stuff that's gonna help you with this, is we're gonna go through some stability drills, because you gotta make sure these shoulders are stable before you start hanging on the bar and pulling yourself all over the place. Really important, so mobility, let's go through some stability drills. So, we're gonna go through some pushing drills, because when you're doing a lot of pulling, you need to also make sure you're doing pushing, right? Because we wanna keep our shoulders nice and even. So we got some pushing stuff we're gonna do, and then we're also gonna do some prep work for the pull-up. So movement number one, again, you can do it with me. We're gonna be doing a shoulder tap. Now when you're doing your shoulder tap, I want you to think about really grabbing the floor and pushing through those shoulders. So get into your plank position. We're gonna tap it out. Tap it out. If you need to make a wider stance, you totally can do that, or you can drop down to your knees. We're really pushing through your hand that's placed on the floor. So really keep these shoulders nice and healthy and making sure they're nice and stable here. Push. All these movements that we're gonna be doing, you'll see today, it's less about going really fast and more about staying in control. Really understanding your body. Tapping in, you can also do this on your feet. Tap. Gonna do a few more here. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Movement number 2. We've got an overhead shoulder shrug, okay? So you can stay seated for this, okay? I'm gonna show you from behind. Why I like to do these is because what happens is people can never get the initial part of the pull-up, which is the shrug. So arms are over your head. Notice how my elbows are gonna stay straight. You're gonna keep your palms to the ceiling, shrug, and then come back up. Shrug, and then push back up. It's also a great one for handstands. Push, keeping your elbows straight, and picture yourself on the bar, doing like a hanging shoulder shrug. This is gonna be really important. If you can do it here, then you should be able to do it on the bar. Shrug. A few more here. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Now we're gonna go back into the floor onto our hands. Now we're gonna do scapular push-ups. Now what I like to do scapular push-ups is we need to get the scapular warmed up and ready in order to do your pull-up. What happens again a lot of times is people don't know how to control that, right? So that's why these push-ups are so great. So you're gonna get onto your hands and to your feet, push-up position. We're gonna relax, okay? And then push through. Relax, and then push through. Notice here also, my elbows aren't bending, right? A lot of people tend to wanna do this. No bend in the elbows, grab at your fingers, relax, and then pop up. A few more, and you can always do these on your knees or put your hands elevated on a surface. A few more. 2 and 1. Awesome. We're gonna do that one more time. I'm gonna tie my shoe. Again, Vivo barefoot. I'm not quite used to having to tie the shoe, but what I do love is that I literally feel like, I can barely feel these on my feet, which is so nice. Definitely recommend these. Okay, let's go into it one more time. Going back into those shoulder taps. This time we're gonna do a little bit slower, more in control. So we're gonna hold for 2 on the top of each. Then we're gonna go back into those overhead shrugs and then back into the scapular push-ups. Again, notice this is a lot of control, slow movements. This is stuff you gotta do to get your pull-up. All right, so back up into the plank, tap, hold it, 1, 2. Come back down, back up, 1, 2. 1, 2, really pushing through that shoulder here while you're here, keeping that control, trying not to rock those hips. Three, 2, and 1. Awesome. Coming on out, shaking it on out. Now we're gonna go back into that scapular push-up. No, we're gonna do overhead. Overhead. I'm thinking ahead right now because I'm really excited for the next part because we're doing all the stability stuff. Now we're gonna go into the strength stuff after. Okay, so arms above, shrug and push. Again, really thinking about keeping those elbows nice and straight and pretending that you're grabbing onto the bar and that you're doing the initial shrug of that pull-up to activate these lats. The biggest issue with people in their pull-up is that they don't know how to activate their lats. Like, they're strong enough. I've seen people so freaking strong, can't do a pull-up. And it's because their mind and their body isn't connecting to their lats. And it means that they're not doing enough drills. And you guys know, if any of you guys are gymnasts, you know drills. When you do a ton of drills, one more, and good. I love the fact, the idea, when you do all those drills and all of a sudden it's like, boom, got the skill, right? You do a bunch of drills and all of a sudden one day you try the skill and you got it because you drilled the whole time. That's why it's so important to do drills. So back up here, drop down to your knees if you need to, relax, and then push. Few more. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So now we've gotten all that stuff in with our mobility and we got our stability stuff in. Again, I call them the boring exercises because basically they're kind of a little bit boring. Boring exercises, but very, very effective and very needed. Let's get to the strength part, the fun part. So next one we're going to get to is the strength part. So you don't need a pull-up bar to get a pull-up. What you need to do is learn how to activate your lats. Okay, so I'm going to take you through some movements that are going to help you with the activation of your lats. So we're going to go through 3 different moves, okay, with a band. I'm also going to take you through some stuff for your core because in order to get a pull-up, you not only need a strong core, you also need strong glutes. Oh my goodness, it's all connected. Isn't that crazy? So in order to get these lats getting ready, nice and strong, we also need to work on that core. We also need to work on those glutes. Okay, so movement number 1. We're going to start with the band. We already did the shoulder shrugs. You can also do the shoulder shrugs with the band. This time we're going to go into just regular pull downs. Okay, so arms up on top. Okay, hold up here. I want you to think about shrugging your shoulders down and then pulling the band out and back. Okay, again, I'm going to repeat that. We're going to go up, shrug down first, and then pull back. Hold for 2 seconds. This is going to help you activate those lats. And then focusing on that initial shrug is going to help so that when you go to do your pull-up, you don't do this. A lot of people pull up like this, right? We want to make sure that we eliminate our body from doing that because so many people do that and then they're feeling it. All they do is feel the pull up in their shoulders. You're supposed to make sure that you feel it in the back and the lats. So initial shrug here, pull down. Keep going. Initial shrug, pull down. Keep going. Pull down. One more. And good. Awesome. We're going to go down into our hollow hold. Again, I just need to learn how to tie my shoe. We're going to now go into a hollow hold. I really should just like double knot it. Hollow hold next. So you're going to take that band, you're going to keep it on your wrist, and we're going to get into a ball. Nice and tight. Extend all the way out. Put that band onto your wrist, and you're going to extend out, pull apart here, and then pull apart down here. So now we're working on that core, but we're also working on that overhead range, which again is really important to making sure we're building that strength. And now we're building strength in that overhead range with the band, right? Pull. Pull. Keep going. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Last thing we're gonna do, glute bridges. Because again, you're gonna need to use your glutes when you're doing your pull-up. When you're doing your pull-up, you need to make sure you're squeezing your butt. If you're not squeezing your butt, it's gonna make it way harder. And when you are squeezing your butt, it's also gonna help you activate your lats better. Wow, so crazy how everything's connected, right? And think about that too, when you do deadlifts, right? When you do deadlifts, you're also using your lats because you're holding onto the bar. So everything's connected. So laying that back, heels nice and close to that butt. We're gonna inhale, exhale, push your lower back to the ground and drive those glutes up and squeeze. Lifting up and squeezing. And again, hopefully you guys are learning a ton about your pull-up, even without using a pull-up bar. Pushing down, lifting up. Pushing down, lifting up, squeezing those glutes. Now I always say pushing down the lower back first because what happens is people get really lazy with their core when they do these. And for me, when I say push my lower back to the ground, it helps me activate my core. So now I'm activating my core and my glutes, all the stuff you need for the pull-up. A few more here. 2, and 1. Awesome. Coming back up, we're gonna do the same exact thing, except now we're gonna do it with what I like to call a flex arm hang with a band. So flex arm hang is when you're holding on the pull-up bar and your chin's above the bar and you're just holding there because you're working on the different parts of the pull-up, right? You need to work that initial shrug. You need to work that hold above the bar, okay? And then you also need to work coming down. So now we're gonna work on that initial top part of the pull-up, right? So what we need to do is take our band, you're gonna shoulder shrug it again, pull down, and now we're just gonna hold it here. Pulling those elbows back, chest is up nice and tall, hold. Keep those shoulders relaxed again. Think about activating these lats. Hold. Maybe dance it out a little bit. Hold, 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 breathe. Again, so much you can do. Another thing I love to do, if you have a broom, I like to use a broom instead of a band sometimes. It helps you with a cue that I like to say for people to do their pull-up called break the bar. If you focus on trying to break this band in half or break the bar in half, you're actually gonna be able to pull it down and activate those lats. Okay, we're trying to get our mind and our body to connect so that we can do it. We're gonna hold one more second here. And good, awesome. Back to those hollow holds. We're going back to that overhead range. We're gonna add 2 pulses at the bottom, 2 pulses at the top. And this is gonna help us with that overhead strength and range of motion for our pull-up. So get into a ball here, extend out, pull, pull, come back, pull, 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 pull. Keep going. Almost there. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Coming back out. Back to those glute bridges. Push down on those heels. Inhale. Exhale. Lower back to the ground. Lifting up and coming back down. So also think about with pull-ups, you're not going to get it in a day. Doesn't work like that. You got to be consistent. So I can give you all these drills, and after this, if you hop on the bar, you're like, I still don't have my pull-up. That's pretty normal, right? You got to, just like everything in gymnastics and other different sports, you have to work on it and stay consistent with it in order to get it and achieve it. You can't just do it for like 2 weeks and be like, oh, tried a few things, can't get it. Happens all the time. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. Woo! Got one more round of these movements. Can you just spice it up? So again, we worked that initial shrug, worked on that top of the bar. Now we're gonna work on coming down, which normally, if you were on the bar, we would call them eccentrics. That's when you're lowering down on the bar. And eccentrics are so great because it's gonna build the strength in your muscles. Now, don't have a pull-up bar, but we can still go really slow with the band. So that's exactly what we're gonna do, okay? Again, I'm gonna stay seated with this, arms up tall, okay? And we're gonna pull down, pull it across, and then pull down. If you can do it behind your back, go behind your back. As slow as possible. Up and down. It's going to help us engage those lats. Again, we're keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. So first thing you should think about is relaxing those shoulders, pulling down. Keep going. A few more here. Slow. And if you really should do them way slower than this, you should count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, all the way down to 10. Do one more. And awesome, good. Back onto that hollow hold. We're still sticking with those 2 pulses and still working that overhead range. Your shoulders should feel on fire. You should feel some activation here in your lats. Get into that ball, extend out. 1, 2, 1, 2. Ah! These always burn so much more than you think. And again, any questions you have, feel free to write them so that I can answer them and help you. One more. Awesome, good. So this is our last round with the band. We're gonna put the band on above our legs. I'm gonna tie my shoe one more. You know, again, gotta learn how to tie my shoe. Maybe just double knot it. And we're going to go into those glute bridges here, okay? One more time with the bands now. When you get to the top, we're going to extend those legs out to the side. So push your lower back to the ground. Lift up, push it out. Come back down. Lift up, push out, come back down. Again, making sure to keep that core nice and tight. You're pushing through those heels. Those heels are driving towards your body. Oop. Lift up, out, and down. Up, out. One more. And good. Awesome. Take that band off. Now, we've gone through a ton of different things here. Lots of information that I've given you guys. Really, really important that we do a nice stretch out. Okay. Really important that when you're doing pull-up sets that you take your rest days. Okay. Few bits of advice that I'm going to give you right here. If you're working on your pull-up, try not to vertically pull every single day. Okay. Try and split it up into this vertically pulling, which is up and down, and then a day in between where you're horizontally pulling or working on some legs or a different kind of element. You want to give your body the proper rest time, because the more your body's able to rest, the better it's going to be able to develop these muscles in order for you to get the pull-up. If you're just constantly doing them, it might lead to injury. So you want to be really smart about how you're training with things, which is, again, why I created my program. Too many people are doing too many random things or trying to do too much of one thing. So I lay it all out for everybody and help them specifically with their goals. So let's get into a nice stretch before we go. And then any questions you have, feel free to ask them. Again, this is just a really short little thing on pull-ups, but I normally do a ton of stuff with the pull-up bar. And I'm just really pumped to be here with Train Like a Gymnast. So let's come down onto the floor. We're gonna go back into that child's pose. Head down, push through the floor, hold. Breathe. Again, really engaging the lats here. We're going to come on forward onto our hands and our knees. Push back into the down dog, pedal out those feet. Come on forward. Lower halfway down, lift up. So again, mobility, stability, strength in order to get your pull-up. Making sure you're getting proper rest time. Making sure that you're not vertically pulling every single day. And other things that I would love to do if I had a bar here, and if you guys had a bar, is to talk about grip strength, right? Because if you can't hang on to the bar, you're not going to be able to do a pull-up, correct? Fingertips towards your body, rock forward and back. So if you can't hold on to the bar, you're not going to be able to do a pull-up, right? So it's really important that you work on things like hang times. How long can you hang on the bar? You should be able to hang for at least, I like to say 30 seconds, but you got to start somewhere. 30 seconds. Being able to hold onto the bar and really making sure you have that grip strength. And you also want to be able to do things like farmer's carry, where you're holding something heavier to grip onto. Very important that you learn how to have the grip strength Activate those lats, have the mobility, stability, and the strength. Again, I'm going to keep repeating myself. But a lot of times I see a lot of guides for pull-ups and they're missing all those pieces. All they're doing is showing you how to do the basic stuff like hanging and shoulder shrugging. Yeah, that's great, but that's not how you're going to fully get a pull-up. Open and close. Other arm over. And arm here. Notice how I'm stretching too after. Very important that you stretch after you do your pull-up stuff. Every time. Always. Hold, 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 hold. Other side over. Awesome. I want you to get into a small straddle real quick. I'm just going to stretch the side of our lats a little bit, like doing this in a straddle position. Take those arms up nice and tall. Hug with your belly. Reach to the side and feel a nice pull on the inside. So again, hopefully you guys got a ton of knowledge. That's what I really wanted to give you guys today. Yes, obviously give you a class where you're feeling it in those arms, but I also wanted you to get a lot of knowledge here in understanding why you're doing what you're doing so that you can become better at the pull-up, which is definitely something that a lot of people want to achieve. And also realize that, you know, a lot of the excuses that I hear are that I'm too fat. Oh, I'm too fat, I'm too heavy. I'm too old. I'm never going to get it. I want to tell you straight up right here, that's not true at all. Reach forward. All it is about is being consistent and learning how to really activate those lats. Awesome. We're going to lay onto our back here, do a few more stretches on our back. Lay flat, take this right leg, cross it over, hold, twist and look to the side, hold, breathe. Back to the middle, let's cross to the other side. Oh, puts a little pop there. Awesome. And lay on back, we're gonna do some breaths together. So hands on your belly. Feel your stomach go up and down. We're going to inhale, exhale all the way out. Inhale all the way in, exhale all the way out. And last one, inhale all the way in, exhale all the way out. And give yourselves a round of applause. I'm so thrilled to have been able to be on the Train Like a Gymnast Summit. And help you guys with pull-ups. Again, helping you guys without a pull-up bar. I know it seems pretty crazy, like how can I work on pull-ups without a pull-up bar? But all these tools that I gave you are things that you can do at home as long as you have a mini band to really get yourself better at it. And as you do these drills and then you go to hop on a bar, just wait. You'll be like, wow, this is actually a little bit easier than I thought it could be. So really excited to be here. Again, ask any questions that you have at all. My name is Angela Gargano, 3-time American Ninja Warrior, and also a pull-up expert. I have a program called the Pull-Up Revolution. So if you're looking to actually get your pull-up, it's 30 days of actual coaching, mindset, and nutrition training. And also special thanks to Train Like a Gymnast. Special thanks to Vera Clothing. This is like, I'm wearing this, I can't stop touching it. It's so soft. And also to the Vivo barefoot shoe. I'm literally obsessed with this. I'm gonna wear them every day. Not only are they cute, but you know, it's really great and good to make sure you train barefoot. Because that's really going to be, when you train barefoot, what's so great about it is you can actually feel the ground, right? And get more out of your training than if you're just wearing a shoe with all this extra stuff to it. So really excited for their brand and what they stand for. So again, any questions you have, feel free to ask them. I'm here to help you. I'm here to guide you. My Instagram handle is Angela_Gargano, and you can feel free to reach out to me whenever. But again, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, thanks so much to Train Like a Gymnast.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no words, no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now
consistency. You want to be able to do the splits? Put in the time. You want to learn handstands? Learn the technique. You want to tumble? Commit to getting stronger. You don't become an athlete overnight. It takes practice, mental strength, physical dedication, and passion. You also don't have to be a kid to do gymnastics. These self-limiting beliefs only hold you back from reaching your true potential. Learn how to master mind, body, and spirit. We never start at the finish line. We practice over and over and over. But through all of this, never lose sight of your why. Gymnastics isn't easy. Remember why you started. Become a champion, train like a gymnast.
What's up, everyone? My name is Acro James, and today we're going to be going over Acro technique. I want to say thank you to Angela, who taught the segment before me on pull-up progressions. As we dive into my class, we're going to be discussing quite a few things. We're going to give you quite a bit of variety. There's going to be some things that you can do solo for people that have a partner. I'm going to give you some stuff that you can do with a partner, because like Acro is obviously meant to be done with another person, but sometimes we don't always have a training partner. So this is going to be a class so you can learn how to get stronger, learn how to build a lot of the same skills that you would find in Acro with individual exercises. What we're going to be covering today is the Turkish get-up, but before we get into it, I want to say a big shout out to Viori and Vivo Barefoot. Flexibility is lacking to get that foot up there and leave it there, but y'all see it. So, during this class, there's going to be a live segment where you're going to be able to ask me questions. By all means, ask me questions throughout the entire segment. I'll be able to respond to you in real time. I want to know your questions. I want to give you the answers for it. And even just to open up a discussion about why we're doing things, what the reason is behind all of them, so we can understand why we're getting stronger instead of just going through motions to make sure that we're just like a hamster in a wheel that's just always moving and not really going anywhere, right? So, a little bit about me. I'm a former Cirque du Soleil acrobat. I got hired to be a hand-to-hand porter, which means I hold people in my hands, I throw them, I catch them. It's one of the things I love doing most in life, is to really kind of share my passion. I get to travel all over the world and teach and perform, and I feel truly blessed to have all of that in my life. I can't wait to extend a lot of this information and this knowledge that I've acquired through others towards you, and I'm really pumped for it. So, when we get into this, we're going to be going for the Turkish get-up. The reason why we're teaching the Turkish get-up as our solo exercise before we get into a partner exercise is this exercise teaches us all about balance. It teaches us a lot about straight arm scapular strength, how to stay underneath weight, how to get our legs working, our core working, our entire body working, and not to mention, this is a great exercise for conditioning. It's a great exercise for strength. It's a great exercise for cardio and endurance, and just overall technique and actual building form and understanding where our body is. So a Turkish get-up, if you haven't seen it or been to Turkey, that's a joke. My jokes never land. At least thinks I'm funny.
Sometimes.
So what we're gonna do, first, let's just demonstrate it. Nice. So, what I'm using for my resistance is a book bag that I have filled up with rice. You can use anything that you want. You can use what I'm using, a book bag. I'm going to show you an intensity option a little bit later, but I'm going to keep it a surprise until we get there. And or anything. So you can use a heavy water bottle. If you have dumbbells, kettlebells, a barbell, you can use that. You can balance a medicine ball. You can do anything. You could even grab a chair and do it. You can get creative. It's going to add a little bit of difficulty to the skill because you're going to be balancing something awkward, but that's one of the fun parts about this, is to learn how to kind of Turkish get up different types of weight that have different balance points. So there's different ways that you can grab a hold of your object. Say you're going to use a water bottle. You don't always have to use the water bottle in this way. You can balance it on top of your hand, so then it's going to give you a little bit of extra balance because it's nice and tall. You can use a book bag, you can grab the handles, or you can even just put your hand underneath it like I just did to have a different balance point on it. We're going to go over some very, very common mistakes that I see and some ways that we can avoid them so we can actually get stronger in a beneficial way. So, you're going to find a spot on the floor. Make sure like nothing's around you. If there is, you're not really taking up that much space. You're not jumping or kicking or anything, but you want to make sure that you're never going to drop the weight on something that's like breakable or into the fireplace. It's like, can I get in trouble if someone drops something into a fireplace?
Yes.
Yes, okay. And by the way, someone who's off the camera right now is my training partner, Elise. She's going to be showing us some different acro techniques later on in this video, but you'll get to meet her in a second. So, as I lay down on the floor, if I'm going to be lifting the weight with my left hand, my left leg posts up, so my heel comes somewhat close to my butt. There's no reason to pull it really, really tight to you. You're going to bring it as close as feels comfortable and as strong. If you're impinging yourself and bringing your knee all the way in, you're going to run into a little bit of like mobility restrictions there with it. So just a natural place to bring your foot in. I'm straightening my arm and I'm gripping my backpack just a little bit with my fingers. I'm engaging my hand and I'm always going to do my best to look at where my weight is going. I never want to look away from my weight because when I do that, the weight will start to drift and then I'm going to lose control of it, and once I've messed up my technique enough, the weight will come down. So the first thing that we want to make sure that we're doing, I'm going to use this leg to drive over onto my elbow. The biggest mistake that I see while teaching this is that people will use their abs to sit up and get their elbow underneath them. As you can tell, there's a big like effort there and then the thump as I get my elbow underneath me. You can get away with that technique for a certain amount of weight, but once you start getting heavier, and heavier is relative to you. For some people, a heavy Turkish get-up is 200 pounds. For other people, a heavy Turkish get-up is 25 pounds. Whatever is going to be challenging your body, you're going to run into a wall eventually because your technique is incorrect if you're sitting up into the motion. So I'm going to take my leg, I'm going to drive myself over onto my elbow. Once I get there, I'm looking up at my backpack the entire time. I drive onto my elbow and I get nice and tall. My chest is open. Now from here, I'm going to get onto my hand and I'm going to post up onto my hand. Once we're in this position, the foot that's on the ground, so my left foot, and the hand that's on the ground, which is my right hand, are now going to push down into the floor, giving me a little bit of mobility here, because when I push down, my hips get light. When my hips are light, regardless of where this bag goes, I can stay underneath it and stay strong underneath it. So once we're here, just because we're learning right now, we're going to go back down. So I'm going to put my elbow back down, and then I'm going to go really slowly back down to my back. This leg will naturally come up to help counterbalance me a bit, and that's completely fine. If anything, I encourage it. And from here, we're looking back up at again. We're going to go for a second rep. Push, hand, elbow, down. A third rep. Here we go, guys. Push, hand, elbow, down. And this is starting to even like burn my core a little bit here, and my leg that's on the floor. Elbow, down. Good. Once you've done 3 reps per side, we're gonna switch arms. So I got my right hand. I got my right hand holding the weight now. So I'm gonna push over, hand, elbow. I'm saying the wrong body parts, but you get exactly what I'm saying. So I push over with my leg onto my elbow, my hand, my elbow, back down. Last one. Push, hand, elbow, down. Ooh, okay. Now that we're starting to understand how to transfer our weight over onto our elbow, we're going to start to learn how to get our knees back underneath us. Once we're starting to feel up, once we're starting to get up into that position where we're nice and tall, it's up to me to learn how to push down with whatever limbs are on the floor. So if it's in my left hand, my left foot and my right hand pushes down, making my hips light. As we're starting to learn this and the weight starts to move around, it's up to us to learn how to stay underneath the weight. If we can know the difference between moving our arm around to balance, or to try to keep our arm in a stable position and use our hips to get underneath it, that's going to give you a lot of long-term success rather than a very short-term like game, because you're just like accomplishing a small amount of weight and then not being able to progress from there. So as we're underneath this now, so you can grab your backpack or your water bottle or whatever you want again. You can follow along with me. So we have this up, my elbow's nice and straight, push onto our elbow, we push onto our hand. So now where my right leg is, so the leg that's straight on the floor, I need to make sure that I point it in a direction that's going to allow my hips to open rather than me getting stuck underneath the weight. So as I bridge up, I'm going to bring my knee and point it towards my hand that's on the floor. So now my thighs are open and I have this nice open angle in my legs, allowing myself to get underneath it. A big mistake here that I often see is when people are getting underneath it, their knee points in the same direction, almost like they're going into a lunge, where it looks like this, and then from here, they're stuck. There's no way you're gonna battle out of this with any type of weight that's actually challenging for your body. So you really wanna make sure this knee opens. So you're almost creating more of a 90-degree angle with through your legs into your hips, as opposed to trying to put both knees forward. I'm getting kind of sweaty already. It almost feels like there's a fire in here. There is. Thanks for one person laughing at my jokes. So, once you're getting up into this position, and we're starting to get underneath the weight, our arm doesn't want to be beside our ear, like we're doing a handstand or anything, because anytime the weight is back this far, I'm going to start losing sight of my like object that I'm balancing. And not to mention, normally when a weight is directly over my shoulder, just a little bit of tension will start to pull me back off balance. So I want to make sure that this weight is slightly in front of me, more like my bicep is beside my cheek rather than beside my ear. You can kind of see the difference of balance points here. I'm creating tension in my other arm. I'm nice and strong because if both of my scapulas and all the musculature around them are in a strong, engaged place, the rest of my back, my core, my legs are going to operate under the same standards as that. So I lock in, I'm really tight here. Once we have this position, we're going to go back down, because going back down is just as important as going back up. So I put my hand here. As you can see, look at my legs went back to that 90-degree position. I put my weight into my hands. This leg is nice and light. I sit through. My elbow comes down. My back comes down. This leg comes up to help counterbalance me. So we're going to go on the right side. My left side, for some reason, is significantly stronger than my right side. It's like the only exercise ever for me, but it's what I got to do to get stronger, so here we are. So I use my leg. I drive over top of my elbow. I get my hand up. I push into my left hand, my right leg, get this foot nice and light. I open up my hips. So again, my knee is pointing towards my hand and not forward. From here, I posture up onto both legs. My bicep is beside my cheek. My other hand, I'm making a fist. I'm nice and strong. I'm looking up at my weight. I'm really engaged through my core. And then from here, we come back down. So I sit through, elbow, leg comes up to counterbalance me. Awesome. Ooh, there's a pillow here. I'm getting kind of dangerously close to the fire. So push back up again. Put my hand on the floor, sit through, posture up, biceps beside my cheek. I'm looking at my backpack, knowing where I'm going. Hand back down on the floor, sit through, elbow down. So you're gonna set down your weight. And you're gonna get a water break right now, because if I'm getting sweaty, you're probably getting sweaty, and we can do that together. All right. So now, as we're getting to our knee, we want to make sure that we're standing up in the correct way rather than lunging forward. It's probably the most unsatisfying thing in the world when you're going for your new Turkish get-up, personal best, you're up onto your knee, you're postured up in this position, and this is where you see so many people lose the lift that they're just about to get because So let's just go through it. So you can grab your bag or your object or your weight, whatever. You're underneath it. So with me, again, let's go. So drive up to your elbow, get onto your hand, get your knee underneath you, point it out towards your hand, posture up. So now that we're in this position, if I lunge forward and I put all the weight on my front leg, and we lose our weight. If this weight was heavier for me, it would just come down in front of me. I'm dropping it right now because I'm trying to demonstrate what would actually happen if you're using a heavier weight. So you're gonna go back down to your knee. You're gonna hold here. I wanna make sure that my toes are underneath me. If my shoelaces are on the ground, I've lost the ability to push through my back leg correctly, okay? So tuck your toes underneath you. Now I need to make sure that I go straight up. Pick a spot on the ceiling directly above your head, or not even your head, just a little bit in front of it, and stand up into it. When you stand up into it, you're gonna be able to keep that weight on top of you. The more you go forward, again, the easier your shoulder's gonna close and the easier the weight's gonna come down. So once you're here, you're still engaged. Now it's time to go back down. So my feet are relatively close to each other. I take a little bit step back. My toes are on the ground still, so I'm not on my shoelaces. I bring my knee to the floor as opposed to trying to bring myself forward. Now from here, I bring my hand down to the ground. I put my weight into my foot again. I sit through, butt on the floor, elbow, down. Turkish get-ups take so much energy. Okay, next side. From here, I drive up again. So follow along, let's go. Get up onto your hand. Now sit out under, get that knee under. Now again, pick a spot on the ceiling above you. Tuck your toes underneath on your back leg. Create tension in this other hand. Now lunge straight up, push up into the ceiling. Go back down, control. Hands, elbow, back, counterbalance, down. All right. I know you just got a water break, but I'm gonna get another one. So, all right, so, Elise.
Yes.
I need your help demonstrating something.
Okay.
If you have a partner and you're starting to feel really good at this is something that you may not be able to do for years. Turkish get-ups have been something that I've been working for since I've been around for like last 8 years. It's been one of those moves that have really fascinated me. A good challenge that I've always had with my buddies, my workout training partners and everything. This is something that we're gonna demonstrate. Now we have someone to take care of. This is the most precious thing in the world at this moment. Her safety is my #1 priority. So if you're gonna start to challenge yourself with this, make sure that you're doing it in a responsible way. You're communicating what you're about to do. And as a person that's going to be lifting someone else into the air, you are taking full responsibility for their safety, okay? So, can you sit over here for me?
Yes.
Cool, let's sit down together. So, if you're going to start to try it with a partner, or maybe a toddler, or maybe anything that's like...
I'm so
So, Elisa's going to sit down like this. She's going to reach under her legs, and she's going to grab a hold of her wrist. I'm going to take my hand, reach through, and grab a hold of her bicep. She's not squeezing too tight here because if she does, I'm going to like get my arm pinched in a weird way. So what I'm going to do, I grab her with 2 hands, pull her on top of me, I push her up. Now we're in a nice strong position here. So now it's even more important for me to be looking up at my flyer because I need to know where they are. So I drive over with my foot, get up onto my elbow, get up onto my hand. Now from here, I make my hips light, get my, they're gonna be underneath me. I'm noticing the ceiling too. So from here, I lunge up very gently. Oh, she's not touching the ceiling, good. From here, I lunge down, shift my leg, put my foot on the ground, sit through, put my elbow down, counterbalance that leg, 2 hands, set her bum on the floor.
Yes.
That was fantastic. Cool. Okay, so find the weight that's appropriate for you. So because I'm working with like my partner now, who's like doesn't weigh the amount of a bag of rice, right? So I need to be a lot more precise with my technique. weight is a good way of keeping you honest and knowing where you are in your motion. If the weight is light, you can hold the weight out here. Like if I'm like doing this with a water bottle, I can be down here and lunge up and like, oh, look, I did it. Because this weight's not heavy enough to keep me honest. So find a certain amount of weight that's actually going to keep you honest during the entire like segment of it. Now that we covered the Turkish get up, and some of you may have partners, some of you may just want to have this for later because this is something that you're going to eventually be around somebody. If you're in quarantine right now with no one, have the cool thing to be like, entice people, be like, now that quarantine's over, I have this cool move that we can try together. So we're going to be doing an Acro move together. So we're not going to do the counterbalance part yet. We're just going to go the up and then the down, okay?
Okay.
So Elise is going to lay down on the floor. Doing Acro and everything is talking is hard at the same time.
Breathe. Do you need a water
I just
break?
ate so many burritos.
Do you need a water break?
I know. I ate the first burrito to get full. I ate the second burrito to teach myself a
He
lesson.
says this joke all the time, you guys.
Okay, so I'm full. So Elise is going to be laying on the floor. We're going to be able to deadlift our partner up off the floor, but we're going to break this down so we're understanding how to get them up rather than using our muscle, hoping that we get there, and then being like, oh, we don't know how to recreate it. Also, again, because we're paying attention to technique, we're showing a very invested interest in our partner's well-being and their safety, right? So we're never going to put ourselves in a position where we start to feel like we can't save our partner. If I or my partner Elise ever says the word
Down.
down, and see, she even knows where I'm going before I get there. If she ever says down or I say down, that word is never negotiable, okay? If one of us say down, it is both of our responsibilities to return to a safe position that's no longer dangerous, and we're respecting that, because when we respect our partner's process, we start to build a strong respect system with each other, and we start to actually grow as partners, as better friends, as everything, because we're learning our boundaries, learning how to communicate effectively, and just becoming, like, can you say that you're becoming a better person?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. So, okay, so Elise is gonna lay on the floor. Her butt's gonna come a little closer to me, so we just stay in frame. Awesome. So I can roll up my shorts a little bit just because clothing is a little bit slippery. So Elise is going to put her feet on my legs. I need to make sure that, first of all, I'm basing where I'm standing off of Elise's center of mass, which is going to be her hips. If I'm really far away, it's like going up to a Christmas box and going like, and then trying to lift it from over here. You get beside whatever weight you're lifting, and you lift as close to your body as you can, right? So, because Elise's majority of her weight is not in her ankles, it's in the center of her body. So I want to step as close to the center of her body as I can, which is going to be right around here. Her knees are a little bit out. My hips are nice and tall. My chest is over. If you want to think about this more between like a squat and a deadlift, a squat would be where my hips are down and my chest is up. A deadlift would be where my hips are back and my chest is a little bit more over the front. This is going to have both, but at the beginning, we're learning how to hinge over top of our partner. So my hips are back, my chest is over top. I put my palms up towards the ceiling. We grab a hold of hands. Now from here, notice how when my hips are up, she can make contact with my legs. If I squat low, she can no longer make contact because when she kicks, it's just going to wax my legs, and that's going to feel very terrible on my body. So from here, Elise is going to start to push into her legs. She's going to start to pull into her arms. I push back with my legs, so we're creating tension. She starts to come up. Now I squat underneath her. Does everyone see how when my hips got underneath my partner, she's able to stand on me? If I'm like this, look how far away she is from me now. This is super strenuous. You don't want to go here, trust me. So I bring my knees towards my toes. I sit my hips a little bit lower, and I get underneath her. If you're losing control in your arms, it's because your shoulders are super protracted and lazy. From here, open up your chest, get on top. Elise is standing up right towards the ceiling. On the way down, she's going to sit down. Sit. Yeah, good. To the floor. Good. Nice. Awesome. So, as Elise is starting to get on top now, so you can stay there. Yeah, we're just going to do the next thing. As Elise is starting to get on top, it's really important as a flyer that you're thinking about keeping bent, staying kind of tucked, getting on top of the base's legs, and then standing up, as opposed to standing outwards away from the base, right? So flyers, really stay patient in that amount of time that you're getting up on top of the base, and then think about someone that has a string on top of your head and pulls you up towards the ceiling. That's going to allow you to get on top and feel much, much easier to base, okay? So we're just gonna demonstrate it again. So Elise puts her legs here. Grab. Now watch how long she stays kind of in this tuck ball before she starts to stand up. So she comes up. Oh, that was so easy. She basically got up on top of me all on, like, by herself that time. As opposed to doing, let's show them the bad version, just so we got it. So sit down again. So watch, this is the bad version. Elise comes up, and she stands, oh my gosh. Not something you want to go through, it's kind of scary. But the first thing, if you guys are making a mistake here and it's about to come down, notice how I kept Elise's hands up, try to get her legs to the floor. Elise did the same thing. She made tension in her arms, and she immediately brought her feet down. As long as I keep Elise's hands, her shoulders up away from the floor, her head can never go down, making her feet a hell of a lot easier to get to the floor on their own. So, now that we got this basic thigh stand, we are going to show you, I'll make it a little interesting. This is my favorite counterbalance just because of how extreme it looks. But if we're paying attention to the very small details, it's going to make it a lot easier for us to pull off, and it's actually going to look good. Because, like, I don't know about you, but I do acro to kind of, like, I like my skills and my techniques to look good instead of ever just being like, kind of looks like they're about to die. Because we want to stay away from that, obviously. So, we're going to demonstrate it, and then we're going to break it down. So come this way a little bit more. Yeah, I think so. I think this is good. So, from here, Elise comes up. Now, once we're in this position, here we go. So, pass back. Oh, yeah. Come back up, and then she sits back down. I think that deserves a water break. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. So, now we're going to do this counterbalance. The counterbalance here takes some very key points that are going to make it a lot easier for us. First thing for Elise is she's going to pretend like someone puts a belt around her waist with her knees staying straight. Is going to start to pull her ass away from me, directly parallel with the floor, not down, not up, but directly this way. When we're creating a counterbalance for the base, because our flyer's weight is going directly this way, where does my weight need to go? My weight needs to go in the exact opposite direction. That's how we're going to create a counterbalance. Because if her weight's going this way and my weight's going down, it doesn't stay there anymore. It just comes off. So what I want to make sure my weight goes that way instead of straight down is going to be where my hips are positioned. I am not sitting down towards the ground. If anything, I'm making my hips go the opposite way. I'm pushing my hips up. I'm flexing my butt as hard as I can, and I start to lean away from my flyer. So let's go back up. So Elise comes up. Now watch. First motion for me, I bridge my hips. Now I'm going to straight line from my knees all the way to my shoulders, mostly. Elise is starting to pull her butt back. I start to lean away. Now watch, this is how I get even more depth. I round my shoulders back, my chest opens, and now from here, I'm pretty far back. And we're going to come up together. Oh, I'm so sweaty.
You're so sweaty.
I'm so sweaty. Awesome. Beautiful. So, you can all get a water break while I'm breathing heavily. At least. Thank you. You're so kind. So, okay, so as you can see, the key points here, again, are Elise's legs are staying straight. Someone ties a belt around her waist. She starts to go back. Elise is finding space with her biceps beside her ear. She's having her head in. At the beginning, flyers, if you want to look up towards your base to see what's happening, totally fine. As you get more comfortable, you can start to tuck your head in a little bit more, look more towards your feet or your knees. Bases, some really important points are your hips bridge really, really hard. You start to lay back. Once you get to a certain spot, your shoulders go from here to all the way open, shoulder blades back, this weird dramatic position. Doesn't look very good when you're walking around like this, but it's kind of like, I was hoping Elise saw that and started laughing because I felt a little insecure doing that. So your shoulder blades really round this way. You really want to make yourself start to arc back. And from here, if something starts to feel weird, whether you're falling towards your shoulder bases or the flyer's falling this way, it's always very important that you get your chin, tuck it into your chest. That way, no matter what, you're never going to fall onto your head. You're always going to fall onto your shoulders, keeping yourself safe. So, come over here, we're wrapping this up. Yo, Elise! Okay, so, hope you enjoyed that. If you want to get into more acro, I have online programs. Basically, with my program, you get one beginner acro class a month, one intermediate acro class a month. You get a handstand class, an acrobatic movement class, multiple solo workouts for bases and flyers. If you have a partner, there's lots of content for you. If you don't have a partner, there's even more content for solo people. But regardless, you have access to all of it. For the next 5 days, if you message me and tell me that you were part of this program, I'm going to give you a discount on it. So instead of paying $35 a month, you're going to be paying $25 a month. And once you're locked in at that rate, you're locked in at that rate. Even as the price of the platform goes up, you're staying in on it. You can message me at Acro James on Instagram. Elise, give your shout out. Give your
Thank
shout
you.
out.
I'm Elise. This is my acro partner. At Elise Marie Vianney.
There we go.
There we go.
You can find her on my site. Really hope to see you guys. Up next is Sienna. She is one of the most talented acrobats that I know.
She's so
yeah,
amazing.
she's amazing.
She's amazing.
Her contortion class is coming up. She's great. I can't wait for you to learn from her. Thank you very much. See you next time. Woo!
Consistency. You want to be able to do the splits? Put in the time. You want to learn handstands? Learn the technique. You want to tumble? Commit to getting stronger. You don't become an athlete overnight. It takes practice, mental strength, physical dedication, and passion. You also don't have to be a kid to do gymnastics. These self-limiting beliefs only hold you back from reaching your true potential. Learn how to master mind, body, and spirit. We never start at the finish line. We practice over and over and over. But through all of this, never lose sight of your why. Gymnastics isn't easy. Remember why you started. Become a champion, train like a gymnast.
enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no, no. Yeah.
Hi friends, I'm Sienna. This is Active Back Flexibility. So a little bit about myself. I'm an artist with Cirque du Soleil and the Beatles' Love Show. I am a duo trapeze flyer, but I have a background in acrobatic gymnastics. I do specialize in contortion and hand balancing. So this class is completely accessible. I want you to realize that anybody can do the exercises we are about to do. You might not look like me, but that's okay. You're just gonna do it the way your body does it, and I'll go ahead and give you quite a few cues to make sure that you're doing it correctly. If you look in the mirror and it doesn't look the same, that's okay, as long as you're thinking about keeping a long neck. That's gonna be our main thing today, is keeping really long neck, shoulders down, and having really good technique as we're doing these exercises. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The name of the game with back flexibility is getting your back warm enough. So I know you all have been doing some awesome classes with instructors right now, but your back still isn't as warm as it could be. So we're gonna go ahead and start with a couple of exercises to get warm. We'll be on our hands and knees, and we're gonna do your normal cat-cow. So we're gonna go ahead and start scrunching up. You wanna lift from your belly button and really push all the way up. Shoulders are pushing into the ground, and release. And you're gonna go ahead and push your shoulders down. Again, neck is long here. We're pushing, and crunching up. All of your muscles are engaged right now in your back, and in your upper back especially. We're pushing down into the floor, and release, and draw that belly button all the way into the ground. There you go. Go ahead and wiggle. So I like to wiggle a little bit left to right, just so I can start feeling both sides of my spine getting warm. And now, we're gonna go ahead and do what I like to call around the world. So you're gonna drop and bend your arms. As you're doing this, you're kind of thinking about this arched position. So you're dropping, bending your arms, rolling and pushing to one side, going all the way up and down. So this is more of a cat-cow that's in movement. Yes, so we're gonna go ahead and do 5 of these. Nice. Again, we're thinking shoulders are pressing down this whole time. Great. And we're gonna go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Beautiful. So we're gonna go ahead and arch down, lifting our butts into the air, and we're gonna slide into a seal, just like that. Gorgeous. So this is your first seal of the day, I would assume. I don't know if you've done some seals earlier. As we're gonna spend a lot of time, honestly, in a seal. So anytime we're here, shoulders are gonna be pressed down, and we're gonna go ahead and think about turning out our legs. So there's a difference between turning in this way and being turned out here. This way you get a deeper stretch. You're stretching out your hips at the same time. And then from here we're gonna lift our butt and go down into child's pose. Nice. Go ahead and take a second here. And leading with our butt in the air, we're gonna roll through back into seal. Gorgeous. Beautiful. Again, shoulders are pressed down. We don't want to be sitting here. Yeah. So if you're a little bit further out, that's okay. We're just keeping our shoulders down. Right. Great. And we're wiggling again. I really like to wiggle. This is actively just warming up my spine. And now we're going to go ahead and lift one arm. So we'll lift the right arm and we're going to pulse back 8 times. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, shoulders are down. 5, 6, 7, 8. Gorgeous. And we're going to switch other side. In this switch, I don't want you to put both hands into the ground. So try and stay up in the same exact position that you're in by engaging all your muscles, engaging your butt, and switching arms. So it should look a little bit like this. Perfect. Now, just an example. If we don't have that strength yet, it might look a little bit like this. That's okay. Totally fine. You're doing great. All right, here we go. 8 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. We're gonna hold for a second. Nice, gorgeous. Okay, so we're gonna lift both arms up off the floor now. So we're incredibly engaged to do this. You're gonna squeeze your butt. You're gonna squeeze your back muscles right here, and we're gonna do everything we can to raise ourselves off the ground. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna hold for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders are down. 5, 6, 7, 8. Beautiful. Go ahead and lay down, relax. Nice. Again, if you're doing this and it looks a little bit more like here, totally fine. You have to start somewhere, right? So we're gonna push right now into child's pose. Ooh, beautiful. And we're gonna lift one arm. So I want you to face both hands. Palms are towards each other in child's pose. And we're gonna lift just one arm, looking straight down into the mat or the floor, wherever you are. So here we go. 1, 2, beautiful. 3, nice. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're gonna do the other side. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gorgeous. So the reason we do those types of exercises is really just to get our upper back warm. It's easier to kind of focus on your lower back. We want to distribute the bend as much as we can. I have a pretty flexible lower back. My upper back, not so much. That tends to be the issue across the board for most people. So, continuing. Now we're gonna get into the actual workout portion of this. Most of the time when you are trying to build this active back flexibility, you're gonna be doing arch ups, a lot of them. So I'm gonna give you quite a few different variations. They're all equally as important. Here we go. So the first one's gonna be a regular arch up. I like to do them in sets of 8. So we're gonna interlace our fingers behind our head. Again, shoulders are down. So you'll interlace here, and then we're gonna arch up. So you can start all the way down. Here we go, 8 times. Ready, and 1. Again, you wanna go as high as you can. And take your time doing these. 2, beautiful. 3, great, gorgeous. 4, keep breathing. And 5, nice. Keep your feet on the floor, yeah? I think that was 5, sorry. Here we go, 6, beautiful. 7, and 8. We're gonna hold at the top, hold. 1, 2, 3, shoulders down. 4, 5, you got it. 6, 7, 8, and relax. Beautiful. Go ahead and push into child's pose. And rest for a second. Gorgeous, gorgeous. You're doing great. You're doing great. And right away, push in. We're gonna go again. Here we go. Ready, and 1. Yes, keep your feet on the floor. 2, shoulders are down, 3, and 4, 5, 6, beautiful, 7, and we're gonna hold again, 8, hold, 1, 2, 3, 4, shoulders down, 5, 6, 7, 8, relax. Beautiful, push up into a seal and breathe. We're gonna rest here. Again, we're wiggling. We're gonna push a little bit further because our back's now getting more warm. So we're gonna push, push, push. Now we're gonna bend our right leg, bring it to your head as close as you can. So if you're here, that's totally fine. If you're here, great. Hold, 1, breathe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Gorgeous, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're gonna do donut, both knees to our head. And we're arching. Beautiful. Again, we don't wanna sit here. This is shoulders down, right? And push, nice. And just breathe, relax. Oh, take it in. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Go ahead and get some water if you need it. Woo, shake it out. So I'm in San Diego right now. Gorgeous sun, gorgeous day. Also, friends, if you like what you're seeing, go ahead and follow me on Instagram, Sienna Martinez _. I also have a YouTube channel that kind of talks a little bit about how I got into Cirque du Soleil. And yeah, if you just want to kind of keep up with my own personal life, you can follow me there. My Instagram's a lot more geared towards circus lovers. Here we go. All right, so this is gonna be our next variation of a arch up. So now we're a little bit warm. Mind you, this is a 30-minute segment. I would typically do an hour-long, at least, training session for my back. So if you have any questions on how you can expand this, please let me know now. But yeah, this is kind of a quick rundown version. So we are moving fast. We're gonna go ahead and start in laying down. What I want you to do is put your arms out in front of you. You're gonna go ahead and slice backwards. So we're gonna slice here, up, bring us up, and we're gonna come up into a arms over our head. And then you'll lower down. We'll actually lower down for 4 counts. So in this exercise, you're using the momentum a little bit, not a lot, just a little bit. So it'll help you to kind of get that bend a little bit further down. And you can get higher up in your arch up. So arms are in front. Here we go. We go. 1, lower for 4 counts. 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 2, 3, 4. Up. 3, 2, 3, 4. Up. 4, 2, 3, 4. Up. 5, 2, 3, 4. You got it. 6, 2, 3, 4. Up. 7, 2, 3, 4. Up. 8, 2, 3, 4. Relax for a second. Beautiful. Let's see how we're doing. Okay. We're doing great. Relax. Ah. And here we go. Same exercise again. Ready. Up. 1. Lower. 2, 3, 4. Up. 5. We're controlled on this lower down. 2. I don't know why I said 5. 3, 4. Up. 3, 2, 3, 4. Shoulders are down. Up. 4, 2, 3, 4. 5, 2, 3, 4. And 6, 2, 3, 4, up, 7, control, you got it. 3, 4, up, 8, lower down. 3, 4, relax. Go ahead and push into child's pose. Nice. You're doing great. Great, 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 great. Okay, shake it out. Here we go. Go ahead and push into a seal. Again, we're wiggling and pushing back and breathing. Hello back, how are you doing? You're doing good. My back's doing really well. It feels really warm. The sun is helping me right now. Stretching outside. Super fun. All right. Gorgeous. So now we're gonna go ahead and lay on our bellies. Forearms are down on the ground. Again, shoulders are down really far, long necks. Now we're gonna lift one leg at a time. As we're doing this, we're also going to bring our opposite arm up. For example, we're gonna lift here. Yes? Down. So what I want you to do is lift up. We're gonna take 4 counts. 4 counts to lift up. We're gonna take 2 counts to bend, and then hopefully you can grab your foot. If you cannot, no worries. You're getting an even better workout out of it. But if you can grab it, I want you to go ahead and pull. The difference between the two is that the people that can grab their foot will be getting a little bit more of a passive stretch as well. Everyone else will be solely relying on the muscles of their back to keep their leg up. If you're not there yet, totally fine. You're still building the right muscles, which is awesome. Here we go. Shoulders are down. Arms out in front. Again, 4 counts up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend. 5, 6. Grab it. 7, 8. We hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straighten out. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, now we're doing the other side. Here we go. Lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. We bend. 5, 6, and grab. 7, 8. We hold. 1, 2. Beautiful. Pull. 3, 4. Straighten. 5, 6. Lower. 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend. 5, 6. Grab it. 7, 8. Pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straighten. 5, 6. Lower. 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. We bend. 5, 6. Grab. 7, 8. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straighten. 5, 6. Lower. 7, 8. One more time. 2, 3, 4. Bend. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold. 1. Pull further. 2, 4. Sorry. Straight. 5, 6, 7, 8. Other side. 1, 2. Lift high. Shoulders. 4. Bend. 5, 6, 7, 8. Pull. 1, 2, 3, 4. Straighten. 5, 6. Lower. 7, 8. Relax. Woo! Did you feel that one? Go ahead and get some water. Woo! Good job. It's a hot one. It's a hot one out here. Let's see how I'm doing on time. Okay. I think we have about 10 minutes. So, we're gonna do one more active exercise, and then I'm gonna show you a little bit more passive stretching. And we're gonna focus on chin stands, which I feel like a lot of people think they can't do, but there is a way to do them that I promise almost anyone can, especially people who are a little bit more fit. I'm sure if you're taking this digital summit that you are ready to go, and I'm sure tonight you will do a chin stand. So this exercise is a little geared toward our lower back. So we're gonna do the same thing in this Nice little cobra position. Again, shoulders are down. And we're gonna lift both our legs at the same time. So you're engaging your butt. And you're gonna feel it right here in your low back. Here we go. We lift. And we're gonna go a little bit slow, so we'll take 4 counts up, 4 counts down. Shoulders are down. Here we go. Lift 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8. Up 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8. Lift high. 1, 2, 3, 4, down 5, 6, 7, 8. This time we're going to go up and you're going to bend at the top for 4 counts. Here we go. And then you'll take just 4 counts down. We lift 1, 2, 3, 4, bend 5, 6, 7, 8. Straighten 1, 2, down 3, 4. Again, lift 1, 2, 3, 4. We bend 5, 6, 7, 8. Straighten 1, 2, down 3, 4. One more time. Up 1, 2, 3, 4. We bend 5, 6, 7, 8. Straighten 1, 2, down 3, 4. Woo! Shake it out. Awesome, friends. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and get ready for our chin stand. So a chin stand requires a lot of upper back mobility. So also a lot of neck that people don't really think about. So anytime you're gonna get ready to do a chin stand, I want you from now on to warm up your neck. So we're gonna go ahead and just quickly drop our left ear to our left shoulder and switch. Great. And now we're gonna drop into a full circle all the way around. Yeah. And another side. Gorgeous. Now this is my go-to neck stretch. So we're gonna get on our hands and knees. You're gonna get onto your elbows here. And you're gonna hold your chin. And right now, you can see from the side, my back's pretty straight, right? My neck's not really getting much. If I scoot back and drop my butt, now my neck is getting a good stretch here. So I want you to relax as much as you can. Go ahead and just let it out. We're stretching out our neck. Beautiful. Now this is an intense stretch. So we're not gonna do this for more than 30 seconds at a time. Great. If you're not quite there, you can also do it sitting down here. This is a little bit of a modified version. You're not going to get as much. You're still going to feel it, hands down. But if you get onto your knees and do it, it is dramatically more intense. Gorgeous. Great. Okay. Now we're ready for a chin stand. Okay, so when you're getting into your chin stand, go ahead and start on your hands and knees. You're gonna drop your chest onto the floor. Here. Now, if you are just starting out in your back journey, notice I'm kind of gonna demonstrate it as if I am. Notice that my back's pretty straight right now, right? My chin is here. I'm actually going to take a lot of weight in my arms so that there's no bend in my back. So if we're here, I'm going to go ahead and kick up and hold here. I'm doing a chin stand, but there's not a lot of bend, right? The more flexible you are, the more you can bend, you can sit, and you can eventually take your arms off the floor. We're not there yet, that's okay. But yeah, I just want to show you that you can do a chin stand even if you don't have that intense bend. So let's go ahead and pop into it. Hold it for anywhere from 30 to 45 seconds and come out. As you're doing this, you need to breathe. So make sure we're actively breathing as we're doing these chin stands. You are going to feel a little bit of restriction. It is kind of, it's difficult. It's a little harder to breathe. but you will get used to it. And if anybody has any specific questions, go ahead and pop them in. I'm here, I will answer them. But let's go ahead and pop right back in. So here we go. Again, starting on your hands and knees, drop. We're taking the weight in our arms and we're kicking up. Now, if this is too easy, you can go ahead and drop and bring your toes to the floor. And breathe, we're breathing. Great, and go ahead and come out. Ah. And I like to push into child's pose after. I'm kind of falling off the edge here. Just because we do need to forward fold as well. Very important. Woo! Great. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay. We have a little bit of time. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do it again. This time, try and get a little bit further down. Go ahead and do it on your own time. I'm just gonna talk a little bit about chin stands. So, let's say we also don't really have the arm strength to fully hold everything. Sometimes I like to offer people this drill. So if you have a wall, which I'm looking around, I don't really have a wall out here, you can put your toes onto the wall and use that to kind of give some of the weight, because it is a lot of weight on our body here. But if you have, here, let's just do this for a second. You have something kind of like this, like a wall. You can kick up nice and close to it, and then put your feet onto it here. Nice. And now you can hold here. I should have probably gotten a little closer. So if I'm a little bit closer to it, if you have a more flexible back, you can also use the wall to give you a more intense stretch here. So we're here. Go ahead and use the wall to pull us in. Nice. Notice how I'm bringing my butt over now. Instead of being back here, I'm bringing my butt here. All that is engaging my upper back a little bit more. So yeah, that's how we can train our chin stands. Go ahead and keep going at it. Try again. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them down. That's kind of where we're going to stop today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a cool down just now. So after we do all this intense working out on our back muscles, intense bending simultaneously, and then ending with a stretch, you need to forward fold. So go ahead and get into a small tight V. Oh, my shoes are in. Also, I really love these Vivo barefoot shoes to train outside in, because it's so dirty, but they're so light. I don't even feel like I have shoes on. But yeah, so we're gonna keep a nice long back here, and just forward fold. It feels so good to forward fold after bending. Forward fold. Always, always, always cool down after a back stretch. Gorgeous. And I like to just get a little bit more intense with it, and I'm going to first roll out. This is my favorite way. Getting a nice little massage by the floor. And then we're gonna bend over. Gorgeous, we're breathing still. Great. All right, friends, that seems like all the time I have. I'm gonna talk for a little bit more though. Anytime you're starting, again, you want to start warming up. Even if you've been working out, I promise you your back isn't ready to just bend. So again, we start with those cat-cows, those around the world, and we're getting our spine warm and ready to move. And then we enter the active flexibility part, which is the workout, the drills. Arch ups are a huge, huge, huge tool that we want to use to the fullest extent when we're getting ready to bend. And after I've worked out, I mean, normally I would take probably 30 to 40 minutes of just doing muscle work. And that's how you develop, you know, that ability to hold your seal without hands. Then we we'd move into flexibility and passive stretching, a little bit of passive stretching. It's also good to kind of try and fold the two together, like how we did with this exercise, and then we're pulling and we're actively pulling, but we're going back to active stretching, and then we're being a little passive, and then we're using the muscles again. So yeah, if you have any other questions, that is what a typical back warm-up condensed version is like for me. Again, you can follow me on Instagram. Also, I just want to shout out to this awesome Yari clothing, which I love. It's like perfect for working out, and I'm outside, I'm in the sun, but I don't feel hot. Well, of course, I mean, I'm sweating, but my clothes doesn't feel all sticky and gross, which is awesome. So yeah, go ahead and follow me on Instagram. I'm here so I can answer any questions that you all have. I also have a YouTube channel, but congrats on this awesome digital summit that you all took part in. I think it's awesome. All right, see you later, friends. Have fun.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat, yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no. I got so high on a low, that's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, no, it's no more, no, no. Yeah.
Consistency. You want to be able to do the splits? Put in the time. You want to learn handstands? Learn the technique. You want to tumble? Commit to getting stronger. You don't become an athlete overnight. It takes practice, mental strength, physical dedication, and passion. You also don't have to be a kid to do gymnastics. These self-limiting beliefs only hold you back from reaching your true potential. Learn how to master mind, body, and spirit. We never start at the finish line. We practice over and over and over. But through all of this, never lose sight of your why. Gymnastics isn't easy. Remember why you started. Become a champion, train like a gymnast.
Hey guys, I am Frances Brower. Thanks so much for sticking around for my Gymnastics-Inspired yoga. I have been teaching yoga for 7 years. I was a gymnast for 10 years, and I've been able to keep some of my tricks because of yoga. So I'm super grateful for it, and I'm hoping I can share just a little bit of what I've learned in this practice. So we'll get started. First, I want to tell you about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the Viore Daily Legging, which I'm so in love with it. The drawstring is really nice because it stays up when I'm upside down, when I'm in down dog, all the things, it doesn't move. And then the Rhythm Bra, it's really comfy. It's got a nice straight back. Just great for daily practice. You can go on a run in it, play around outside. And then the last thing, I'm obsessed with these shoes. They're kind of like a yoga mat for your feet, right? Because it's just your foot really, and then it's just there to support you just enough. So it's got nice flex in the toes. You can do lots of flips and tricks in these, and I've already been messing around with them, so big fan. Anyway, we're gonna get started. All you need is yourself, a mat or your floor, wherever you're at. And we're gonna come down to our backs. So as you come down, you guys have been working a lot with some other instructors, just on lots of different tricks. You may be feeling tired. We're gonna let our knees fall open wide, soles of the feet touch. And bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And then just start to breathe and feel how your belly rises and falls. We'll just be here for a few seconds, starting to calm down our energy and blend everything that you guys have been working on and learning into this practice. Good. As you find a rhythmic breath, try to keep that as we move in and out of postures. And we'll start to bring our knees together. Hug the knees in towards the chest. You can rock side to side. You guys just did some back bends with Sienna, so you may be feeling a little sore from that already. This should feel nice as a little counter posture. Good. Then bring your hands to your hamstrings, and we'll rock and roll 2 or 3 times. We're gonna balance in boat pose. Those of you that were gymnasts probably experienced V-ups. We're gonna do kind of a similar thing. So you're gonna balance on your sits bones, roll your shoulders back. Your knees can be bent, or you can try to extend your legs. My core is already shaking the moment I lift and extend my legs. So we're gonna take a breath in here, and then exhale, start to hover halfway down. So we call this half boat. Connect the low belly down to the mat. Your shoulders, your heels are just off the ground by a few inches. Inhale, lift it back up. And then exhale, come halfway down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down, hold. Maybe you want to extend your arms overhead. Last 5, 3, 2, and 1. Knees in towards the chest. Rock and roll a few times here just to massage the entire length of the back. Good. We're gonna do a little bit of a play here. So we're gonna come into a pistol squat. Your left leg will be your base. So take one more rock. Left leg, you're gonna come all the way up to standing knee raise, arms lift overhead. Send it back for warrior three. Big, big stretch back. Good. And then come all the way back down. And then we'll try that again on the other side. So take a few rocks if you need. This time the right foot is your base. Extend, standing knee raise. And then extend everything out long. Good, stand all the way back up. And then exhale, lower slowly. Come all the way back down to the back. This time cross your ankles, come forward. And you'll come into your tabletop position. So take a few rounds of cat and cow. You'll drop the belly, peel the chest open, broaden through the chest. Tailbone lifts. Exhale, round the spine, dome the upper back. Good, inhale, belly drops. Peel open. Exhale, round. And add a little bit of movement, sway side to side, maybe bend in the elbows. Let the head hang heavy. Good, just peeling open. And then switch it up with the hands. So bring your fingertips back towards your knees. This will be really nice to stretch out the wrists. You've done probably a lot on your hands. So maybe take some circles in one direction and then the other. You can keep moving in and out of those cat and cows. Good. Then we'll go ahead and bring our palms to face up, fingertips in towards one another. Maybe a little bit more gentle on the wrist here. Tends to be a little bit more sensitive. Good, sway side to side. Nice. Just a few more rounds of breath. Good. Bring your hands back through the center. Nice. We'll take a shoulder stretch here. So left arm's going to lift up towards the sky, and then exhale, thread your left hand all the way across the body. The left shoulder comes down to the ground, left side of the face on the mat. The right arm can reach and wrap around for the top of the left thigh. If you want to add some challenge here, you can extend the right leg long, maybe float it off the mat. Breathe in. And then breath out, slowly come back down. Right hand releases. Left arm lifts to the sky. Big stretch up. And then let it go. Other side. Right arm lifts. Inhale. And then exhale, thread the right hand all the way over towards the left side. Right shoulder to the ground. And then same thing. Left hand can wrap around for the top of the right thigh. If it feels good, you can extend that left leg long if you did so on the other side. And find your balance. Last big breath in. And then exhale, slowly come on down. Reach that left hand to the mat and then the right arm to the sky. Good. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes. Find your downward facing dog. So pedal out your feet. Maybe your hamstrings are feeling tight. Maybe they're feeling warm from all this activity. Just start to stretch or walk it out. We'll be here for a few rounds of breath while I take off my shoes. I can do it with one arm, kind of difficult here. As you're stretching, try to send your chest towards your thighs. Good. Now, find stillness in your downward dog. Inhale, shift forward into high plank pose. So really strong core here. This is also going to help with your handstands that you've been working on. Take a big breath in. Exhale, send it back down dog. Inhale, peel forward. Exhale with control, lower halfway down, elbows draw in towards the sides. Flip over the tops of the feet. It's a big stretch. You did a lot of back bends, so this may feel open, this may feel easy, or maybe a little bit tender. You can always come down to the belly as a lower variation. And then exhale, send it back, downward facing dog. Good. We'll do one more round. Just like that. Inhale, shift forward, high plank. Exhale, lower. Upward facing dog, inhale. Then exhale, send it back, down dog. Good. Bring your feet wide to the edges of your mat. And then walk your hands back Until they become light, reach for opposite elbows. Sway side to side. Just allow a little bit of more movement, fluidity in the legs. Nod your head yes, shake your head no. Good. Last few breaths. Good. Release your hands. Wiggle the feet all the way to touch. And then just roll up one vertebra at a time. Head's the last thing to come up. Big shoulder roll up by the ears. And then big shoulder roll forward and down. Let your eyes close for a second. Palms face forward. Just to catch up with the breath. I always encourage my students to check in with each one of your feet. So try lifting up 10 of your toes, all 10 of them. Ground down to the ball mount and the heel of each foot. With your belly really tight, can you notice your arches engage, your inner thighs are lifted and working for you. And then reach your arms up, your eyes still closed. And then flip the palms up towards the sky. Roll the shoulders down, straighten the arms as much as you can. You're actively engaged all the way through the entire body. This is kind of the shape you want to replicate in your handstand. You can blink the eyes open, look up at the hands, big stretch up. Release the 10 toes, exhale, forward fold, take it down. Halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, walk out your hands to high plank, lower chaturanga, vinyasa. And down, down. This is where we meet. Good. Take a breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let it go. Notice maybe a little bit warmer in the back side of the body. Maybe the upper arms are a little bit tired from standing on those hands. Good. We're going to find some lower leg stretches here. Right leg lifts towards the sky. And then exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest. Good. Inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, right knee to right elbow. We'll be here for 3 breaths. If you want to bend into the elbows, take a little bit arm balance variation, you can. Watch out for my plant. Right leg lifted all the way up and back. Let's try the other side. Right elbow, right knee to left elbow. Pause, bend. Maybe arm balance, no plant in the way this time. And then send the right leg all the way up and back behind you. Exhale, step your foot through. Drop your left knee on the ground. Sweep the arms up overhead. Square your hips off. Good. Take a breath in. Breath out, baby back and bend and open through the heart. Good. Reach your arms up. And then exhale, bring your hands to the ground. Straighten the front leg. So flex the toes back towards the face. This is half splits. This is a great place to be starting. For those of you that are super flexy, you've still got it. You can slide into your full Hanumanasana or gymnastics, we would call the splits, the right splits. So square your hips off as much as you can here. And if you want, of course, fold forward. An important piece of yoga is the breath. Often when things feel tight or a little uncomfortable, we forget to breathe. And it's an essential part. I'm just going to come back to it. Let the breath slow down if it was tightened at all. Good. Lift your heart back up. Press back into that left knee. Walk your hands forward, and then we're going to float the left foot off the mat. So this is our standing splits that we often do in our yoga practice. The difference here is that you're going to actually level off your left hip, and your chest will fold over that right leg. You can play around with some variations. Right hand can reach back for the top of the left foot. Good. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. And then exhale. Lift your torso all the way up, standing knee raise. So this is kind of a nice transition to what we did just for that brief moment at the beginning of class with the pistol squat. Right hand will come to the outside of the left knee and then peel your torso open. So left hand goes towards the back of your room. Your knee can be bent here, or you can reach for the outer edge of the left foot. Drop your left hip bone as much as you can. Your hips are still square. You're just twisting open. Good. Big breath in, breath out. One more. Good. Exhale. Bend into that left knee. Send it back and meet it in line with your right. Left elbow meets the hip. Reach for the inside of the foot. Dancer pose. Often kind of a more expressive posture in our yoga practice. Also helps you guys have open back bends, open hearts right now for this. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your knee back forward, standing knee raise, and then send it back, land for your low lunge. Plant the palms, plant your left palm nice and long and peel open to the right side. Big stretch up. Nice twist here. Then the exhale, we'll take it to side plank. Right foot on top of the left. Lift up towards the sky. Big breath in. Maybe lift the foot. Maybe toe bind for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Chaturanga Vinyasa. Good. Great, we get to do that on the other side, guys. How's everyone feeling? Notice the difference in the right and the left. Significant, maybe not. A lot of you guys are probably super flexible, feeling nothing, like Gumpy. Good, let's find the other side. Left leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest, shift forward. Good, inhale, reach it up and back. Exhale, left knee, left elbow, nice and high up on the arm. Bend at the elbows if you want to take the arm balance variation. You'll shift your way forward. Last 2, and 1, release. Left leg comes back. Exhale, left knee over to the right elbow, cross. Same thing, maybe you bend at the elbows, maybe you extend. There's my plan again. Last 2, and 1. Slowly release the left leg. Send it all the way through. Right knee drops. Good. Arms sweep up overhead. Keep squeezing your inner thighs together. Send your hips forward. Be mindful of your hips if you're super flexible. You may want to engage a little bit more to the inner thighs so you don't sit into this too much and stretch too far. Take a breath in. And then exhale, bring your hands down to the ground. Straighten that front leg. Flex the toes back towards the face. And fold. Good. Keep drawing your left hip back in space. You'll feel this a little bit more along the left side. Good. If you slid a little bit deeper, go ahead, come on in. My left side is not quite as great as it used to be, you guys, so you should let me know in your comments if you still have right and left splits, because left is a struggle. It's much more painful. But same thing, like I told you, keep breathing into this, right? So breath is always going to help you kind of soften into this, kind of surrender almost to this pose rather than fight it. Big breath in. And breath out. One more. And exhale, slowly come on back up. And then we'll bring that right knee back down. And then walk the hands forward, find your standing splits. Right hip drops to meet the left. Fold yourself in. Same little variations. Just make sure to keep dropping your right hip so it's in line with the left. Fold yourself in. 3, 2, and 1. Standing knee raise with control. Again, like we did from our pistol squats, big strength through that left side. Right knee comes to parallel. Left hand to the outside of the right knee, and you'll start to twist. Upright the spine. If you took the advanced leg variation, you can extend that bottom leg out. Really tall through that left leg as well. Some of you may be able to gaze back over the right fingertips. You've got an amazing balance, all of you. Stay with it. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more. And then exhale, bend into the right knee, switch the grip, so right elbow to the inside of the hip. Reach for the inside of the foot. Lift up really tall, kick in, find your dancer pose. Good. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Gently come back to that standing knee raise. Send your right foot back in space, land in your low lunge here. Right palm is your base, left arm high, so peel yourself open. Your hips are square for now. Left shoulder on top of the right. Good, breathe in. Breathe out. One more. Then exhale to your side plank. Any variation, you can take this with the bottom knee on the ground. You can lift the left leg. Here's my toe bind attempt. Reach your hips high to the sky. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release down to chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And exhale, down dog. Let it go through the mouth. Notice the right and left side. A little bit more equal here. Good. We'll come on down to our knees and then walk your hands out for a puppy dog stretch. Good. Some of you who have lots of flexibility here may be able to tuck the chin so it's sticking out and you're looking slightly forward. Otherwise, we'll just be on our forehead. And this should be a nice shoulder stretch. You can add in a layer by bending at the elbows and find the tricep stretch. Hands come between the shoulder blades. We'll stay here for a few rounds of breath. Good. We're going to transition into a little bit more play with our handstand hops. So we often do these in our yoga practice as we transition from a standing series down to the floor. So we'll bring our right foot forward between our hands, and then we'll come back up to that standing split. So the left foot is lifted. You'll plant your palms, and then hop your right foot back enough. You want your hands planted, and then maybe, depending on where you're at with your handstand, you'll be able to kick up. So heel lifts high to the sky, a little bend in the knee, and then the left foot just follows, and the right foot goes as well. So maybe a little hop here and land. If you want to play around with switching the feet and then coming down to chaturanga, landing one foot at a time, you can play with that. So again, we'll go back, right foot comes through, high into that right heel. You can give yourself enough space so that you're going to be able to kick here. Inhale, high into the right heel, bend the knee, exhale, switch, and then slowly control your shoulders, come forward, all the way down. Upward facing dog. Let's try the other side. Take a breath in, breath out. Good. Step your left foot through, and then same thing. You're in your standing splits. Fold yourself forward as much as you can. You want your chest closer to your hands, but you can hop that left foot back. So again, inhale, heel high to the sky. Exhale, bend, float, switch, chaturanga, up dog and down dog. Good, we'll do it one more time. Play around with these little hops. Even if you don't quite get all the way up to handstand, you're working to get your hips just stacking on top of your shoulders. And it's just a fun little transition we do in practice. So when you go to your next yoga class, you can try it out. So inhale, high in the heel, bend the knee, plant the palms, switch, and then come on down. Good, upward facing, exhale, downward facing dog. We're gonna close out with just a few nice yummy stretches for the hips. So right leg lifts to the sky, open your hip, maybe flip dog, especially after that back bend series. And then exhale, bring your right knee towards the top right corner of the mat. Extend your leg back. Lift your heart for a moment. So your hips are square here. Often a little tip too is to look over your left shoulder. See that your leg is just right in the center of the mat. Then exhale, fold yourself down. Just soften yourself into your mat, let your breath kind of recover. Take a little bit of stretching actively and also a little bit of play. Take a nice deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. One more inhale breath. And exhale. Slowly walk yourself back up. If you want to take a little quad stretch, you can bend into that back knee, reach back for the top of the foot. Good, slowly come back to your mat, lift that right leg up and back, wiggle it out. And then notice that difference between right and left. Left side, left leg, open the hip, stack the hip, maybe flip on over. Good, reach. And then exhale, left knee to the top part of your mat. Extend, lift through the heart. And then exhale, come forward. Always so important to find this balance with yoga and strength training. Training like a gymnast always incorporates that stretching, moving the body, and becoming a little bit more flexible too. And let your body soften into these postures. And letting the breath slow down. Good, slowly come up. If you took a little quad stretch, bend back into the foot, reach back. Some of you flexies maybe taking a little bit of a deeper stretch with that foot closer towards the back. Good, and then we'll release the foot. Plant the palms, sweep that left foot back, three-legged dog, wiggle it out, open the hip. Notice the difference. Go ahead, come through to a seated position. If you want to play with that handstand hop, we call these little jump throughs. So knees in tight, and then extend your legs. Whew, that was tough. Good, scoot your hips back. We're gonna do a wide leg forward fold, or if you wanna keep your legs together, whatever feels right in your body, do it. So legs come nice and open. I'll face you guys. And you'll walk your hips forward. Ooh, I am nowhere close to middle splits. Does anyone still have their middle splits? Shout out to you guys. So wide leg forward fold, what we call in yoga. Legs are still engaged. You're starting to drop your pelvis towards the floor. You may be able to walk your hands out and soften the upper body. Big breath in, breath out. Feel free to walk your hands over towards the right side. Maybe even reach for the toes. Good, over to the left side. Maybe the toes. Good, slowly come back up through the center. Bring your knees back in towards the chest. Lower slowly all the way down to the back. Give yourself a big squeeze. And then let your arms go wide. Drop your knees off towards the side for a little supine twist. This is a nice release for the entire back. If you guys own blocks, I definitely recommend a supported bridge pose. So kind of like a back bend or a bridge, but you just bring a block underneath the sacrum and get a nice release there. Good, bring your knees back to the center and then over towards the right side. Good, one more breath in. And breath out. Hug your knees in towards the chest. Squeeze everything in, wrap your forearms around your shins, lift your forehead up to the knees, big breath in. Exhale, let it go into Shavasana. Just be here for a few breaths. Letting everything kind of cool down. Feeling a sense of heaviness, maybe a sense of calm that washes over the body. It's being able to feel proud of the body, have gratitude for it, to do all these crazy things that you did today. Knowing that the rest is now, and relaxation comes. And we'll start to wake the body back up, wiggling the toes and the fingers, the head side to side. Maybe stretching your arms overhead, big stretch. And then exhale, roll off onto your side using your arm as a pillow. And then make your way up into a comfortable seat. Just face whatever way you want. You're at home, do your thing. Eyes closed, connect the hands right at heart center. We'll take a final breath in through the nose. Exhale, open the mouth, let it go. Bring your thumbs between the brows, third eye center. The light and love in me honors and recognizes the light and love in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks you guys so much for joining me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to write them and I will definitely get back to you. You can also find me on Instagram, fit.withfran. Have a great rest of your day.
Wow. Okay, we'll say hi to Zara. I tried to get her out of the frame. How do you guys feel? Give me one word for how you guys are feeling in this moment right now. After all of that, after Francis's segment, after everything that you learned today. Her segment, just like I was watching it and I felt super calm. And I know she has a question there. How often do you guys practice yoga alongside all of your other training? Please answer her question and please reach out to her on Instagram. She is actually a fitness model. That's how I met her, through the fitness modeling industry. And yes, thank you, Francis. She is an amazing human, hence why she's working all the time and people love to work with her. So if you are in Los Angeles or even if you're virtual, talk to her, see how you can get involved. So before we go, and I'm going to show you, I did it last time, a little, humbled, I like that word. I'm going to show you a little sponsored segment from like the commercials from all of our sponsors at the end to close out. But in the next 2 minutes, I'm going to do a little bit of Q&A. So if anybody has questions about anything, put them in the chat now. We have some already like pre-planned questions that we just like basically like an FAQ for things that we usually get. Inspired. Yay! I'm so excited. I love doing these summits because that's what I want to do. I want to like introduce you guys to different types of training. And I want you to see that you're not alone and other people train like this. And there are people out there that like to train the way you do. So just to get into the Q&A here, Francis is actually on our TLAG team. And so if you're wondering what the TLAG team is, that is our ambassador community. So if you are someone who already trains like a gymnast, who feels like you're a part of this community and you love what you do, we are taking applications. So you just go to trainlikeagymnast.com/team, super simple, and you can put in your application and we'll look and see if you are qualified to be a part of our ambassador program. You guys get to be on calls with Olympians and ask them questions. You get to meet each other from around the world. You get perks and things. You get discounts on retreats and workshops and just mentoring, and you can mentor others in the group as well. So it's great to be able to connect and network with a community of people who are like-minded, people who think like you and who get what you do. So that's trainlikeagymnast.com/team if you're interested in that. Yes, so our clothing sponsor for today, all of the instructors, and I'm wearing it too, is Vuori. Yeah. And then our shoe is Vivo Barefoot. So they make shoes to make you feel like you're barefoot. So that's why we love partnering with them as Train Like a Gymnast, because we train barefoot. But if we gotta go outside, this is great to use when you need to go outside. Yes, thank you. Such a great community. We're like over 50 girls in it right now. So if you want to be a part of it, apply. We want this to grow and grow and grow. Or if you know somebody who would be a great fit, please tell them about it. The next thing is, you probably saw in like the 5 billion commercial breaks that we had, we do in-person workshops and retreats. So the workshop, actually, for now, they are postponed. The gym that we usually rent said, let's touch base in 2021. So I'm like, okay, maybe we can, because that was planned for April. So maybe we can find another gym to do the spring one later this year. Otherwise, they'll be back on track for 2021. As far as the retreat, what you saw, the video that we played in here was from our Hawaii one in February, just before everything shut down. So we were so grateful and thankful that we were able to do that. Our next retreat is Lake Tahoe. The reason we're going to be still putting that one on is because it's a small enough group, and it's kind of like a family. So we do a lot of one-on-one coaching beforehand to get you prepped and ready, and then you're there for 5 days, 4 nights with this group of people. So we'll be adhering to all of the guidelines that we need to for COVID. And by September 30th, which is the date of the retreat, September 30th to October 4th, hopefully we'll be in the next phase. So we shall see how that goes. But on your replay page, there will be the link to learn more about that. We would love to have you there. I think we have 9 spots left, something like that. Something like 6 to 9 spots. I gotta ask my team. I think we're somewhere there, because the house that the estate we rented can host up to 15 people. So it's a nice little intimate group where you do a lot of personal development, a lot of professional development, and the theme for this one is a lot of leadership. So if you are interested in, I guess, being more of a leader, taking a stance towards something, whether it be your personal development or your career, if you want to start a business, if you want to advance at your job, if you want to become a better person, if you want to heal relationships, all of this, but also mixed in with gymnastics training, acro, handstands, all that kind of stuff, stretching. These are your people, and this is your place to be. I know we have Ashley in here, and she's coming to Lake Tahoe in September, so that will be super, super fun. And I know some of you ask questions like, how often should you train? If you have specific questions on any of the segments, please go to the Instagrams for each instructor and DM them. Start a conversation. They're super, super friendly. They're super approachable and all of that. So I hope that you take advantage of it and say that you were at this summit, and they will know exactly who you are. Again, take advantage of James's promo, because he is extending his registration for his online courses, his membership program, for I think 5 days for you guys. He just closed it on, I think it was yesterday, sometime this week. So he's extending it for you. So if you liked that acro technique and you want to learn more, or eventually you will have a partner to do stuff with, he's literally the best acro teacher I've ever worked with. And when I brought my training partner to work with him, we were able to get stuff because he's so good at explaining. And he can do that virtually as well. So if you want to learn, he does things online. Let's see if there are any other questions that we got in. Yeah, this was a great summit. If you could tell, the caliber of these teachers, super professional, super experienced, super technical, not just workouts for you to do, but this is very, very skill-based, this one. So if you like this style, let me know. We're going to send out a feedback survey later today. Check your emails, check your spams, check your promotions for your VIP swag bags, for your feedback, and for the replay. All of those emails are going out in the next 24 hours, okay? So keep checking your email, and we'll want to make the next one even better. The next summit is July 25th. We have not announced the lineup yet, but let us know in that feedback. There's something on my nose. We're going to let me know on that feedback survey who you want to learn from, because we've got people in mind, but if you say somebody that we haven't thought of, we'll see what we can do. You can go to trainlikeagymnast.com/summit. We've already changed the link. So if you want to get on the wait list and be like one of the first to know when the registration opens for the July 25th one, go do that now. trainlikeagymnast.com/summit. Get your name on there. if you've done the 3 Summit bundle, you'll automatically be added to the VIP list for that when registration opens. Yeah? How do you get more involved with Train Like a Gymnast? Tag us in things that relate to the concept. So if you're going to the gym, or if you're working on handstands, if you're doing your splits, tag Train Like a Gymnast, and we can reshare you, and you'll be a part of this community. You can also be involved with the ambassador community. I'm going to rip my nose off. There it is. You can also apply to be involved with the ambassador community. I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, it can totally take you to the next level in your fitness journey. Absolutely. And I want fitness and this kind of training to be fun for you. It should be something that you look forward to, so therefore you do it consistently, and then you get results and you get better and better. And then if anybody has any questions for me in particular or our team, DM Danielle Gray Fit or Train Like a Gymnast. And please share your pictures from today. I want to see how you did, or if you're done and you want to keep practicing, tag us. We want to see how it went. With that, thank you so much for attending. These are really, really fun. After July 25th, we're going to start to spread these out probably quarterly. So I hope to see you at the next summit. Go do that right now before you forget. trainlikeagymnast.com/summit, and then put yourself on the wait list for the next one so you're ready to go when registration opens. All right? I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Happy Saturday. Have a great weekend. Bye.
Something doesn't quite fit. A normal foot shape today is not our natural foot shape. Shoes have distorted our feet in the name of fashion. Feet were made to feel. Shoes have made them numb. Maximalist design fighting the foot's minimalist needs. The short-term comfort of foam and air is having a long-term effect on our health. If feet cannot feel, feet cannot function, and we cannot move. The last thing the shoe industry thinks about is your feet. We must uncover this shoe-spiracy, reclaim our feet, reinstate our health, reconnect with what makes us human. Think feet first.
Do you often get trapped in negative thought loops? Trouble living in the present moment? Is your mind constantly busy? Welcome to the 5-Minute Journal. Think of it as a toothbrush for your mind. Based on proven positive psychology research, in just 5 minutes a day, it trains your mind to focus on the good in your life. Here's how it works. In the morning, you start your day with practices that support gratitude and bring awareness to intentional actions that enhance your life and connection to it. This conditions your brain to become positive focused and ensure you begin each day with purpose. At night before bed, you reflect on the good things that happened throughout your day and how you could improve for tomorrow. No matter how your day was, you'll sleep a bit better after calming your mind with the 5-Minute Journal. In as little as a week, the 5-Minute Journal helps you appreciate life more and counter negative thought loops. It's the simplest thing you can do to start and end your day happier. Learn more at www.5minute.com. 5minutejournal.com.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought